Alright, hello lovely people, I hope you are doing well. So today, I'm finally going to be sitting and reading The Distortion Detective. This has been something I've been saying I was going to do for a while. I should have done it before the previous canto. I didn't. So we're going to be doing it today because I really wanted to make sure I did it before the next Intervallo, which from the picture that we saw in the live stream looks like it's also going to contain the Distortion Detectives and, you know, our boy Bamboo Hat Kim. So I feel like a lot of Distortion laws coming up. So I thought this was probably the perfect time to actually sit and give this a read. So yeah, I was going to do a live stream, but I kind of thought if I do it this way, I can sort of like chapter it. So if there's like certain chapters you guys like want to hear me reading and stuff, then yeah. But it's going to be a little bit of an audiobook, I suppose, today. A little bit of a lore deep delve. And yeah, we're going to get into it. So yeah, take a seat. Get some schnecks and yeah, enjoy. Chapter 1. I can see the distortion. Cause, understanding. Oh, I've already said it wrong. Cause, explanation, understanding, acknowledgement. I can see the distortion, and the distortion can occur to anyone. I don't exactly know who coined the term distortion for the phenomenon, but people just started calling it that at some point. No one knows how it works, but the experience so far suggests that this phenomenon is a manifestation of strong emotional desires and explosive surges of feelings. The pianist who, or rather which, wreaked havoc on District 9 is known as one of the most notable cases of the distortion, so that's obviously from Library of Ruina. Not many are aware that smaller cases of the distortion are happening here and there across the city even now. A person turning into a fish or another one's eyes being dyed with the hues of the sky are two such examples. The distortion appears to me as visual distortions in a literal sense. Although I can see them, they aren't tangible. In the case of the person whose upper body gradually turns into that of a fish, I could clearly observe scales growing on their body, yet when I touched their skin, I could only feel the soft sensation of a normal human's skin. Hearing this much, one might think the distortion is merely an illusion. Well, that would mean I'm simply delusional and suffering from hallucinations. However, I've taken up this job because that is not the case. I'm chasing after the distortion. It's secretive yet explicit and proceeds slowly. For example, the fish person, oh my god, I mentioned earlier, who was dubbed the merfolk, underwent gradual changes such as having their eyes protrude, gills appear, and scales grow out of their skin. When their upper body almost completely morphed into the fish form, their change physically manifested in a moment's notice. Only then could others see what had become of the merfolk and physically feel the fishy features on their body. See, that's fascinating because it makes me compare them to Gregor a little bit, whereas, like, obviously this is saying, like, distortions occur, but it's, like, a very slow process, and, like, you can't feel it, and you can't really, like, see it until it's, like, fully manifested, whereas, obviously, with Gregor, that's different. So that's interesting. The merfolk, Case 5, was originally a villager in District 19's fishing hamlet who was subject to constant abuse. It seemed that they spent most of their time staring into the Great Lake, yearning to escape from their current life. My conclusion is that they desired to be free from their agonies and saw the lake as a getaway, and that the strong longing for water ultimately distorted them into the merfolk. Of course, there are many other complicated factors involved, but I'll omit the details since the merfolk is not the main subject of my story. My work is to look out for the cases of distortion and prevent them. In fact, the progress of the distortion varies for each person. Ever since I gained this ability to see omens of the distortion with my eyes, I cannot see a single person who is not distorted in one way or another. Oh, so the person who's talking, I'm guessing it must be like Moses or someone, because Moses is like the main character, right? So they can see distortions like as they progress. That's interesting. Ooh, that's really interesting. Okay. Once again, I don't have a deeper understanding of the phenomenon or anything. I simply started seeing it one day and could notice it earlier than others. Since I can see the signs in advance, I do my best to warn people to take preventative measures before it manifests. That is my job. I was hired by a firm that lost several of its staff to the so-called Ascension incident and sought out that employees whose eyes were filled with the sky's colours. The firm advised them to wear sunglasses. The idea to give them sunglasses so that they couldn't keep the scenery of the sky in their eyes was so outlandish it made me chuckle. The sky no longer being blue for them didn't have much of a positive impact on their boring lives, but at least they didn't evaporate anymore. The people who wanted to look up at the sky started looking down instead. Perhaps they still wanted to get closer to the sky by going up to the rooftop, or maybe they were just one of the many who chose to jump to their death. The city isn't too interested in what happens after a case has been solved. All they need to know is that if the deaths were understandable or not. I'm not a charity worker, so I don't bother looking into cases of the distortion I wasn't asked to investigate either. Case 13, Balloon People. This case was rather explosive. I titled this case Balloon People because people's heads would literally expand like balloons until they went pop. This cold explosion would cover everything within a 10-meter radius, with blood and blow to pieces everyone in its range as well. A company in Ocorp's nest finally asked for my help after suffering 5 instances of those balloon people. After some investigation, I found out that all occurrences of the distortion had one thing in common: they all worked in the service industry. To interpret a distortion, you need to combine multiple pieces of evidence. This process consists of 4 steps: cause, explanation, understanding, and acknowledgement. Oh, okay. First, investigate the possible causes of the distortion and construct a clear explanation that covers the causal relationship in a convincing manner. Then, make the subject understand why they are going through the distortion, and have them acknowledge that they could fully distort at this rate. If all these steps succeed, the case is closed. The distortion is considered solved if the subject regresses to a form that looks human enough to me. Those who became the balloon people used to work in emotionally intense fields such as delivery carriers, nurses, and call centre clerks. Particularly call centre clerks with the largest average exploding radius of 16 metres. Some inquiries revealed that another company had subcontracted all customer service calls to one call centre. The clerk's job was to record the claims from clients and send those records to that company. The problem lay in this process. The call centre clerks lacked any expertise in the subjects of those complaints, yet they had endured heaps of insults from their clients, even though there were no use lashing out at them. The clerks were treated like emotional garbage cans, hearing all kinds of abusive language and even threats from the clients. Service workers are compelled to put on a smile and a cheery voice while being such a punching bag for others, having no way to vent out their own distress. Such stress would naturally accumulate over time. This resulted in their heads inflating like balloons, all the while they maintained a facade of serenity. They ended up exploding once their stress reached a breaking point. From that point, my work is simple. I made a list of clerks whose heads appeared inflated to me and sent that to the company. Those clerks then lost their jobs. The company didn't bother investing any time or effort in shrinking their heads. My work often ends before I can enter the stages of understanding and acknowledgement. Simply interpreting the distortion doesn't resolve the fundamental issue. Their stress is bound to explode in one way or another. However, such matters don't concern my clients much at all. All they cared about was maintaining this abnormal status quo and evading responsibility for the distortion, not the cause behind it. I suppose the same can be said of me. I can't help but keep thinking that we're all missing something important. I believe I'll be chasing after the distortion for a while, as every single thing appears distorted to my eyes. Right now I'm looking into a mirror. To my eyes, I'm the only one who doesn't appear distorted. In a world full of distorted people, could the one person who remains unchanged be the distorted one? As I look at all the other distorted people, the distorted streets and the distorted city, I come to think that maybe the whole world is distorted. I can't fathom what would happen once the distortion of this world continues and reaches a critical point. Until then, I'll stay ever vigilant for the distortion. I am the Distortion Detective. Yes, it is Moses. Okay, right. I already have questions, okay? Number 1, how did Moses end up with eyes like this? Like one day it just randomly happened? Nothing is random in the city. What happened? That's so strange. Everyone appears distorted. Okay, there is one individual. I want to know what Moses sees. And that is Dante. What do they look like to Moses? I want to know so bad because, like, obviously Dante, like, we have so many questions about the clock and everything, like, and I know people were talking about potentially the clock could be a distortion, but there was never anything that Moses said from what I can garner that would make me think that. But now it's making me want to already go back and, like, go through all the conversations that Moses has had with everyone to see what Moses has been saying, because that's so fascinating to know that, like, Moses sees everyone as a distortion. Holy shit, that's so interesting. Chapter 2, self-contradiction. You idiot, I quietly murmured, grinding my teeth. Ezra had done it again. I told her numerous times not to ask sensitive questions to the subjects of the distortion. Ezra then whispered to me, "Oh, looking at this is going to be hard to know who's talking. A little bit here." Okay, I'll do my best, but I'm probably not going to be able to give everyone voices. I was kind of hoping that I was going to be able to. I don't know if I'm always going to be able to tell who's talking, though, because, like, this seems a little bit... Okay, this seems a bit... Okay, I'll do my best. I'll do my best. Detective, what do we do? Sorry, Chef. My niece is not very streetwise yet, you see. Oh, you lovely young sprout. What do you mean with detective? Are you seeing stuff again, poor little thing? Huh. So you were a couple of nut jobs. If you disrupt my business with bollocks again, I'm going to call security. The master chef yelled, although this restaurant was too shabby and small for such luxurious titles. Yes, I'll teach my little gal here to behave. Are you insane? Did you really have to say out loud, wow, the food here is just as disgusting as the sanitation? Who taught you to cook? In a small restaurant that's not seeing too many guests? But it really did taste horrible. You think we're here to enjoy the food? You're supposed to carefully look around for clues and just cram the food in your mouth before the chef finds us suspicious. Oh, this food has got to be the cause of the disappearance. I bet the revolting taste drove them crazy, made them wander off. I'm cutting your salary by 25%. Oh, detective, please! I took out a pipe out of my inner coat pocket. The case may be stuck for the moment, but it should end well somehow. With such optimism, I started smoking. I'm a fixer from District 14, a decently experienced Grade 5 currently working for 7, the association specialising in intelligence and investigating operations. I solve mysteries for a living, although most of these unsolved cases are about the distortion anyway. The city still seems to be clueless about the distortion. I simply jumped onto this budding niche earlier than others thanks to my cursed talent, seeing people's distortions. Yeah, I feel like, also, I mean, I'm surprised that Moses is a Grade 5 fixer. I thought Moses would be higher than that, if I'm being honest. But also, I guess this is probably set a few years before Limbus Company, so I'm guessing. So, because obviously they mentioned about the other distortion, so it's like between the two, I'm guessing. But also 7, is that the one where we've got a Faust ID for a 7, right? I believe. So, what did the chef look like to you, detective? The lower half of their body was that of a snake, and hands were attached on its tails. It had about 7 tails, if I remember correctly. Ugh, what about their upper body? Was it human? Yep, I could see a human in filthy chef's uniform. Does that mean the distortion has progressed by about half? Maybe it'll manifest in a week or so. It could very well happen tonight, judging from the circumstances. The mouth on one of the tails was salivating and twitching quite intensely. Anyway, we're dealing with a reptilian, right? Let's see, a Stigma Workshop product could work. You always pick expensive gadgets. The pattern of the distortion has been changing lately. The manifestations are getting faster. No, to be precise, the distortion has started to manifest even while people are unconscious. That's right, their bodies distort in their sleep. This seems to happen with people who are half distorted from what I can see. A sloppy monster can only cause sloppy trouble. The Spy Association gave my office a request. People have been disappearing at night inside a certain hotel in the area of the association has been safeguarding. Recording was forbidden in the back streets of District 14, so there's no video footage available. The hotel only has 2 entrances, the main gate and the back door through the kitchen. None of the missing guests were seen leaving through the main gate. The hotel wasn't assaulted by a syndicate either, which was obvious considering that the SWI were in charge of that area. Detective, maybe something's really up with the kitchen? Its chef was the most distorted person around, so it's plausible. The sun sets and night falls. We infiltrated the hotel restaurant. The fairy I spent a fortune on enters the keyhole and opens the door for us. Sometimes singularities feel much more like monsters than the half-baked creatures born from distortions. Oh, yeah, that's, is that kind of like the one that, Bina has? Wow, are they having a party or something? What are they eating? Under a red light, skinless hunks of flesh were sitting around a table eating something. The only dish at the table was something that looked like a large leather sack. They were each grabbed something from the sack and ate it. The putrid smell stings my nose. My mind falters for a moment. What the fuck are they eating? Are they eating people? Oh, they're not eating people, are they? Oh, they might. Oh god, you can zoom in. I don't want to zoom in. Oh god, they might be eating people. Turn around. Do not look at the thing they're eating. Don't breathe. This is driving me mad, detective, but it looks so cozy in there. It looks like a bedroll. You'll be eaten and turned into manure once you get in that bedroll. Ezra was completely entranced. I smacked her in the chest as quietly as I could. I gave Ezra a handkerchief so she could cover her nose. Keep it tight. We're heading to the kitchen now. Leaving behind the feast, we crawled towards the kitchen. A long line of people waited in front of it. Those were the people reported to be missing. They enter the kitchen one by one, and then the human-shaped flesh hunks walk out, each gathering a leather sack. They bring it to the table and eat from it. Food that bewitches people. Oh, what could they be eating, detective? It's time to find out. Get ready, assistant. Ezra took a Sigma Workshop sword out of her bag. I pulled out my smoking pipe. The door leading to the kitchen is wide open. People lining up for their sack pay no attention to us. They're simply mumbling to themselves. We proceed slowly. We're going in. I can hear the sound of kitchenware at work. The chef is busy cooking something, holding multiple cooking utensils with hands that are on the tails. What could they be cooking? What are they feeding those people with? A detective. People are bowing to the chef to show their heads. The chef is splitting them open and taking something out. Doesn't look like a brain. They aren't extracting the brain itself. They're pulling something out of it. Could it be thoughts? How is that possible? That's what the distortion is all about. Unseeing things are materialized. That means they're giving away their thoughts to the chef so the chef can cook them, and the chef also peels their skin to use as the sack. That's pretty wicked. My eyes meet the chef's gaze. Hey, you're the insane bunch I saw earlier today. If you want to eat, then line up. Taste's gonna be nothing like the stuff you ate before. What are you feeding those people? I'm giving them what they want. I cook thoughts. People these days don't even know what they're thinking, so they need something else to cook those thoughts up and feed them. You've already killed people. Case of the distortion that's capable of so sometimes I say it's a little bit difficult to know who's talking, but yeah, I'll just go guess Ezra. A case of the distortion that is capable of murder would be, according to the standards our office set up, a risk level 3 distortion. Kill. They aren't dead. They're having a feast, don't you see? Ordinary food isn't enough to make people happy anymore. You gotta know who you are and what kind of world you're living in to truly savor the flavor. This is almost like a cheap urban myth. You've gone too far. Detective! The flesh things in the restaurant all came in here! You just haven't tried it yet. I'll show you how your thoughts taste. Ezra, take them down. The Stigma workshop sword emits an orange glow. The wire on its blade heats up. Each time Ezra swings the sword, one of the hunks of flesh falls to the floor. The heated wire leaves beautiful symbols through the sections it slices, a trademark feature of Stigma Workshop's products. The smell of burnt meat soon fills the kitchen. A sentient case of the distortion that willingly harms others is ultimately subjected to termination. We sometimes encounter distortions that we can't take down on our own, but most of them we can still be dealt with in some manner. This kind is especially simple. Have you tried your own cooking then? Self-contradiction. Distortions that damage others while claiming to care for them are bound to face irony. So you're feeding others with a dish you haven't tried yourself. What makes you so confident in its taste? My cooking has to be tasty. All the customers look sad and sulky when I serve them with the most delicious food before. It's because they didn't think for themselves. You can tell if the food is tasty just from a person's face. Someone who doesn't try their own cooking isn't a real chef. Fine, I'll eat it. I'll eat my own food. There we go. That's the spirit of a true chef. The chefs split open their own head. They put their hand into their brain and pulled out something glowy. Soon the chef was done taking all the thoughts out, they collapsed onto the floor. Just like that, the chef passed away before they could taste their own thoughts. A detective! I took care of them all. I'm done with my share too. Should we contact the SWI Association now? Yeah. Just write up a short report. They won't believe all this fuss about cooking thoughts anyway. I'll go get some sleep first. Got it. Good morning, Detective Moses. You're a bit later than usual today, huh? Yeah. The line at Ham Pan Pan was long today. Guess everyone wants to check it out since it's the first to open in the north of the city. Oh, Ham Pan Pan. Did you get some for me too? Yeah, I got one for you just in case. You liked mustard, right? Mustard flavor is great. The SWI sent us the reward just now. That's quick, and it took them a day. I bet they're scamped with the paperwork. Anyway, to sum up the case, it was about the unappreciated cook who wanted to bring joy to the people in their own twisted way. It was a crude story. We had to deal with the distortion on our own a lot more often these days now that I think about it. Why are Wings and the other associations so passive about it? Monsters are actually appearing, because none of them are noteworthy enough to even be an urban plague. Well, the pianist being the sole exception. Still, shouldn't someone do something about this? It's like a ticking time bomb. I bet a lot more people die to syndicates than to distortion. By the way, you're not actually going to cut my salary, are you? That stupid chef's food really was the course. Try using that good memory for something better. I can hear you. What the next chapter holds. This room is breathing. I can feel its respiration, its beat. No one knows how many people this room has devoured. A dying elderly person stands before me, a lonely old person whose breath is fainter than the room's. Forgotten by others, this aged person has brought and taken in people. As the doddering ones faded from everyone's memories, so did the people that took them in. So that was an interesting chapter to get to actually know more about the dynamic between Moses and Ezra. So obviously Ezra has been with Moses for a while, it would seem. And obviously they both belong to the Seven Association. So it was the SWI Association that hired them this time. But obviously, yeah, grade 5 fixers, which is, yeah, kind of middle of the board. Like, they're not very high up, but obviously from this, and from what actually we saw in Limbus Company, Moses does definitely seem to be more of a supportive unit, especially using the pipe rather than an actual fighting unit herself, whereas Ezra obviously does a lot of the tanky fighting work. So obviously that's probably why she's only a grade 5 fixer at this point. But it seems like potentially after the events of Library of Ruina, the distortions in the city started getting worse, especially after the Pianist, because obviously that was such a high, was Pianist like star of the city level play, I think, like, was really high. So yeah, it seems that like the situation's worsened, but I suppose if the situation in the city is worsening and people are wanting to escape more and they've got more high level emotions occurring, then the distortions are going to be more likely to happen. But the question is, like, why can Moses see them, you know, and see them about to happen? Chapter 3, The Photographer, and I simply remember. A detective office for unresolved cases located in a 3-story building somewhere in the district of District 14. It's a mystery how people manage to find their way to my humble office. There's rumours of a haunted alleyway. People who pass it by disappear. How do they disappear exactly? Ezra asked curiously. No one knows who disappeared or how. All we know is that someone disappeared somehow. Then it's either a memory manipulator or a reality warper. Oh. Wait, is this like a third person in here? Sorry. Wait, hang on. Yeah, like, who's this then? There's a third person here, right? Oh, yeah, the client's in here as well. Okay. I think what would really benefit here is, like, if they had, I know it sounds like almost script-like, but if they had, like, Ezra and then just 2 dots, and then Moses and then 2 dots. I know it doesn't exactly work in this format, but it is a little bit difficult to figure out who's talking, because they don't have, like, the client said da-da-da, and then Moses said da-da-da. I think that would help a little bit, because, yeah, it's a little bit confusing when you're trying to, like, read through it. And no one knows who disappeared or how. All we know is that someone disappeared somehow. Then it's either a memory manipulator or a reality warper. But detective, I thought reality warpers only existed in your theories. This one might be our opportunity to see one for the first time. What's this all about? It's just our jargon. Where do they go missing, by the way? Ezra changed the topic before the client could ask further. It's somewhere around the Plaza of Cherished Hopes. That's not too far from here. How did you know that people went missing? Used vehicles and objects were found abandoned in the street, like bicycles and cars. And most of all, the furniture in my attic was sorted as if someone had been living there until today. That means one of your family members has disappeared. Huh? But there's only 3 people in my family, and they're all fine, me, my husband, and my child. We'll see if we investigated. What if there really was another family member I've forgotten, like you said? And if they're dead? The culprit should be killed. That's rather stern. Well then, we should start discussing the request fee. Ezra's eyes sparkled as she spoke. I left the financial management of our office to her. She has enough wits to figure out how serious or tough a request will be, so I can trust her to lead negotiations like this. I headed out to the terrace while Ezra and the client were busy bargaining. I smoked from my pipe, feeling the acrid breeze of the back street. Still, this air is much clearer compared to the messy atmosphere during the smoke war. Distorted creatures walk the streets as always. Wondering how long I'll be doing this, I puffed tobacco smoke. A detective! I'm done writing the contract. The client went back to her home. Plaza of Cherished Hopes, was it? Get ready. Yes, Chief. Do I bring the usual gadgets? Ezra asked as she stuffed equipment into her dimensional bag. Sure. I was walking along the street with Ezra. The time's 2 p.m. Ta-da! Here we are at the Plaza of Cherished Hopes. What do we do now? Wait till night falls? The case appears to be a location-type distortion, judging from the client's description. A powerful distortion can affect its surroundings as well, assimilating nearby objects into it. We should look for any distorted buildings. But only you can see those weird buildings, detective. What can I do? There's distorted buildings as well? Oh yeah, powerful distortion can surround its effect. Oh, I see. Yeah. Oh, I guess that actually makes sense from what I've seen in the game, actually. Yeah. Because, like, I'm thinking, for example, of, like, Hohenheim's distortion, like, in the dungeon. Like, that makes, yeah, it makes sense. Okay. I don't know why I didn't actually think of that before, because that actually makes a lot of sense also with some of the boss fights we've done. That's probably why everything's been so distorted. I've never thought of that before. Like, why the boss levels look the way that they do. Interesting. Okay. See if there's any abandoned bikes around here, maybe. Windows with eyes, apartments floating in the air, doors with teeth, rooms filled with water. There are a lot more distorted buildings than it seems. It would be quite a sight if they all manifest at once. Now, which building to investigate first? I don't have any specific criteria set in mind. Some deduction and intuition are all it really takes to figure it out. This one is a case of a distortion that devours people whole. The victims are soon forgotten by others. Why were they attracted to that distortion? I need the profiles of the missing people, but no one knows who disappeared. It'll be difficult to figure out their common traits. Ezra, look for a place around here that provides goods or services for free. What? For free? Does that place even exist? Preferably a place where people who don't have a job would go. And that's why it's easier to figure it out. The distortions of the city are actually rather simple to understand. There it is. A place called Lemire Soup Kitchen. Is it sponsored by anyone? Nope. Seems to be run by an individual. Lead me there. People who are destined to be forgotten in the city will naturally be attracted to free meals. Isn't this a photo studio? What? It looks like a worn-out tent, though. Oh, it's the other way around. Isn't this a photo studio? What? It looks like a worn-out tent, though. It's a distortion. Does that really look like a photo studio to you, detective? Mm-hmm. An ages studio. So, this is the soup kitchen, right? Yep, the description says they give away free meals to children and the elderly who are too poor to afford anything else. Do we use the ferry to enter? Huh? Don't you know how expensive it is to recharge the ferry? This is just an ordinary tent camp. All we gotta do is walk in. I'm asked because I'm seeing a door sealed with a lock. I don't like how you talk back. I'll be cutting off your salary. What? I'm just kidding. Aren't you having too much fun with that? It shakes my heart even if it's a joke. Say, we should wait until night. We can interfere with a distortion that's manifested this much already. What are we waiting for then? Hold on. You shouldn't just barge into a closed-off section in someone else's mind. I walked up to the door and gently knocked on it. Soon enough, the door was unlocked. Let's get inside. What did you just do? The entrance just opened up on its own. I simply showed courtesy. You told me not to use the ferry or anything, so all I could do was knock on the locked door. A photo studio set up inside a wooden building. The whole building exudes the smell of hardwood, and large frames fill up the walls. Wow, it's much bigger on the inside. Now I see why you said it looks like a photo studio, detective. I guess it's visible to you now. Could these photos on the wall be the missing people? Perhaps. Each frame held a picture of corpses, various photographs of dead people. One common feature is they all died indoors. Oh. I do really like the artwork. It looks really good. Like, this is really cool. This room is breathing. I can feel its respiration, its beat. No one knows how many people in this room has been devoured. A dying elderly person stands before me, a lonely old person whose breath is fainter than the room's. Forgotten by others, this aged person has brought and taken in many people. As the doddering ones faded from everyone's memories, so did the people they took in. Not a single person knows them. They were here dying, all alone. This is a place of memorial. A person whose head turned to a camera greets us from behind. The 4 lenses on their head rotated disorderly, fixing their gaze onto me. Yikes! Surprised, Ezra fell to the floor. I remembered each person in their photograph. I take pictures of them and frame them. Who are you? I'm a photographer. I believe I should be the one asking who you two are, in fact. This is Moses the Distortion Detective, and I am the talented psychic Ezra. She speaks with confidence, revealing our identity so shamelessly. We're fixers. We actually got a request about a recent case of disappearances. So they do realize that some people have gone missing. What's the point of it all, though? They already were treated like invisible people even before they disappeared. Did you lure them here with free meals to kill them? Ezra questions the person while looking at them with suspicion. No, I didn't. I simply remembered the people who are bound to be forgotten, like Miss Agnes over there. I take pictures of them so they can be memorialized in this room. The old person standing before us must be Agnes. She's staring at the pictures hanging on the wall, letting out heavy breaths. There are so many people who die alone. I realized that as I worked, so I want to remember them. What work? Kidnapping people? No, not at all. My work was accompanied by an awful stench. When its neighbors report the smell, I go and retrieve the body. So you are a mortician who usually dealt with people that died lonely deaths? Yes. My work was to look for such bodies in the streets of District 14 and direct funerals for them as part of the welfare plans in N-Corp's Nest. I've arranged funerals for 253 people and not a single mourner showed up for any of them. I decided to take one last photograph of the dead before I retrieved their bodies so that I could at least remember them. So you weren't running the soup kitchen from the beginning? I got fired. The N-Corp Nest said they don't need a useless undertaker like me. Funerals are for the living, after all. I'd meet the same fate since I don't have anyone to remember me. For a life to be meaningful, the memories have to be passed on somehow. So we've decided to remember each other, remember we all existed and lived in this city. It's a really sad concept because the concept of death in the city is something that's so prevalent, and like it's sad because like there are so many people that benefit from the death of others, and there's so much death and killing in the city, and you see people trying to be good people and trying to stop it and trying to help, and for them all it does, it like things just get worse. Like the concept of death is such a sad one in the city, and there's so much of it. Like having characters like this that are just like, after seeing 253 people all like their bodies have just been left and no one was mourning them and no one came to their funerals. Like I can see why this person distorted, you know, and was like, you know, people aren't even going to remember me, so I want to remember these people because they're all just invisible and have been forgotten in the wake of the city, because the city is very much the case of like the strong are the ones that thrive, you know, which is why like it's so interesting that the main concept of the game is you play, you know, a character that can turn the clock back so people don't die, you know. It's so good, you know, it's so good. You are distorted. What you've been doing is kidnapping people, coming to your tent for free meals, nothing more. You aren't one to decide whether they die alone or not. But it's obvious. It's so apparent that they'll all die in their own rooms, abandoned and forgotten by all. We'll remember each other and be forgotten in peace. We have the right to be neglected by everyone so ruthlessly, and rob the people who still do remember them of their memories. You just kidnap people who are in the same shoes as you because you yourself were afraid of being forgotten. You took away their chances of being remembered. The lenses on their head start rotating all of a sudden. I dodged to the side as soon as I heard the sound of something starting to run. Snap. I fell on my knees and faltered on the floor. My whole body feels numb, a sharp pain strikes my head. Detective! Stay away from the lens. Don't let it take a full picture of you. The sound of the lens rotating and the film being reloaded can be heard. When it takes a picture of someone, it draws something out from that person. I felt acute twinges all over my body as if numerous spikes were stabbing me. I remember a few that inflicted this kind of pain. Ezra, I'm putting up a smoke screen. Yes, Chief. I pulled out my smoke pipe from my coat and blew as hard as possible. The smoke covers the whole room. Snap, snap, snap. The camera flash goes off in random directions with each snap. Detective, what are we going to do now? The type they shouldn't be allowed to see. I mustn't let it contain us in its sight. What's in your bag today? The usual, Stigma Workshop sword, Alice Workshop gloves, Corey gloves, Nestor hammer, and throw the Corey gloves at me. Got it! Only Ezra can see me through this thick smoke. A pair of sky blue gloves flew across the room and I snatched them right away. I put on the gloves and slammed my hand with the wall. The wall begins to freeze over. Snap, snap. I took a deep breath in through my pipe. Ooh. I don't know what noise to make with that. The camera that had filled the room... Sorry, the smoke that had filled the room is sucked back into the pipe. A shiny wall of ice reveals itself. Snap. The lens flashed, taking a picture of its own reflection in the icy wall. Crack. The photographer fell down, crack showing up on its head and lenses. You made others be forgotten because you didn't want to sink into oblivion alone. Perhaps. Maybe I was the only one who'd completely lost their chance to be remembered after all. How many people have you locked in here? 57. Can you recover them? Yes, I can. Then your life is spared at least. Bring them back now. But who will be there to remember me now? We will. Thank you. The photographer's head returned to normal, only a single eye retaining the shape of a lens. The studio regressed to a tent now full of people. The distortion was solved. We've found the missing family member. He's the one, right? The client doesn't look too happy. Oh, yeah, my father's back. No wonder I forgot. Well then, shall we transact the remainder? Ezra counted the money with a smile while the client and her father headed back, looking depressed. Oh, no one would welcome the outcome of this request. They'd much have preferred to just forget about the people who eventually made it back. They'd murmur to themselves how they wished those people to disappear forever. I heard later that 58 people's worth of smoke quietly billow out of crematoriums in the back streets of Encorp's Nest one day, and I simply remember. Greetings, Dr. Moses. It's been a while. An unwelcome guest visited me, an association fixture in Section 2 of the 7th Southern Branch, and my former assistant, Hee Jun. Their eyes are just as arrogant as I remember. Okay. Damn. Chapter 4, an unwelcome guest, Han Hee Jun. Greetings, Dr. Moses. It's been a while. An unwelcome guest visited me. Association fixture in section 2 of the 7 Southern branch. My former assistant, Hee Jun. Oh, okay. Their eyes are just as arrogant as I remember. I'm trying to figure out who's who. Must feel good by be playing in the big leaves way above me, doesn't it? Oh no, not at all. Hello, Hee Jun Sunbae. Ezra, you tactless dork. I hope you realize how much they're looking down on us by now. What are you doing here? Heading north all the way up from the south part of the city? Must be a complete mess down there with the L Corp collapsing. You're sharp as always, Doctor. I'm actually here because of that. What? Look, I'm too old to get myself involved with the wings. The distortion. You can still see it, right? I would have closed this office otherwise. I wonder how I appear to you, then. Snobby prick, always asking questions I'm not comfortable with. Okay, amazing. Well, your mouth is sewn up, it seems. Perhaps it's because it's actually going to be zipped up soon enough. I actually can't see their face at all other than 2 eyes floating in the air. Oh, that's creepy. You haven't changed at all. Don't you need some funds? Do I look like I'm in a financial crisis? Oh, I see the way around. It's so hard to tell who's who. You haven't changed at all. Don't you need some funds? Do I look like I'm in a financial crisis? Then why else would you be doing work as the Distortion Detective? I see. It's because you still can't forget about what you did back then. You still regret that, don't you? That's enough. That's enough. Shut up, Hee Jun Sanbae. Ezra grabbed Han Hee Jun by the collar. The uncanny smile in their eyes still wouldn't go away. Let them speak on. Ezra and I were the only ones who survived your rampage that day. You were essentially responsible for our lives, Doctor. What do you want me to do? Bite my tongue and die? I can't have you die so easily on us, no. You still owe us so much debt. Get to the point. Why did you come all the way here from the south? I want you to head down there for a while. The Southern Branch is dealing with troubling incidents as they're suspected to be cases of distortion. We need your ability, Doctor. And please stop with your shabby attempts to solve your cases. What we want is the distortion manifesting in its whole. Don't try to restore them. Just leave them until they fully distort. What, is the 7 as human experiments now? I suppose you could put it that way. I've reserved 2 warp tickets departing from N Corp's nest in 2 months, so take the train and visit our associate office once that time comes. Is it a request directly assigned from the 7 Association? Yes. It's an urban nightmare class. You're free to deny it, of course. You don't care too much about belonging to associations after all, but you might be able to meet a certain person at the end of this request. Leave the tickets here and sod off. I look forward to seeing you, Doctor. Hee Jun left, once again smirking with their eyes. Ezra, throw some salt out the door or something. We don't have any salt in the office, though. Should I go buy some? You know what? I gotta buy some. I knew this day would come. The office feels like a devastated war zone after that snob swept by. I kept smoking until the evening, fighting the memories of my past. Ezra, bring me a map of the city. Yes, Chief. But we don't have an officially printed map here. One sec, please. I'll try drawing one up. She's passionate in weird areas. What makes her fit to be my assistant? Here, it's done. I made it using Picture Store. You call this a map? Well, it works. Oh, I mean, that does work. Ah, here we go. Whee! It's like a little spiral. See, and then this must be like so that's the forest, right? This must be like the outskirts areas. This, I'm guessing that's meant to go all the way around. So obviously that's like the wall. Interesting. See, it's interesting that she's also drawn over that as a 0. See, because I don't think I've seen the map this way. I've seen the map more. I do actually have the game currently up. So here, this is the spiral. So I guess 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so I usually just know them by the letters because, yeah, but obviously these are the different districts and then that's the wall around it. And then, yeah, that is interesting. Okay, cool. All right. So, yeah, I was going to say, but yeah, obviously it goes all the way up to 25. Okay. We live in District 14, which is that one there, which belongs to the N Corp nest. Taking a warp train is only the feasible way to get to District 11 in K Corp's nest here. I frankly want nothing to do with the white tie fixed in the south, but at the end of the day, we have no choice but to go. All because I committed an irreversible misdeed. 2 months later, huh. Hijun Sunbei said this was related to L Corp, so then why aren't we just going straight to District 12 where L Corp used to be? Okay, so that's where Lob Corp was here. Okay. I heard L Corp's nest has already fallen into absolute anarchy. They probably called us to stay in a safe place that's relatively close to it. The warp platform in L Corp's nest likely stopped operating anyways. Detective, are you really gonna drop solving distortions once we get there? Are we just gonna kill them? That's not up to me to decide. It'll depend on the severity of the distortion. But what if we ran into a distortion that could be reversed if we tried? We can think about that later. There's still time, so let's do our work as usual for now. Got it. I'll fetch our next request. What the next chapter holds. What? Detective! Detective, is this a distortion too? Can't believe this. Seems it's time for an update my information on the distortion phenomenon. Keep it together, Detective. We gotta run for now. The exam has begun. Mock exam. Okay. I'm really curious if there's like other characters that I'm gonna know like pop up in this story or not. So yeah. It's been a week since Han Hee-jun stirred up a storm in my head. There's no point in being ambivalent about what's going on here. I know I have no other option. What am I agonizing for then? Detective, this is a request about a high school. Ezra spoke in a cheery tone as usual. A school? Was it requested by its faculty or the principal? No. This student here is our client. Hello, my name is Meryl. A girl shyly standing behind Ezra introduced herself. One of her legs is composed of numbers. What's your school? I'm not sure if a student of the backstreets even has enough money to make a request to our office. A detective, actually, she's a client. I mean, a student from a private high school inside N Corp's nest. A student from a private school in the nest? The allowances these kids regularly get from their parents should be more than enough to pay us. I'm willing to play with those rich kids in their little detective games as long as the request fee is paid. So, what problem does our young client want us to solve? Actually, something strange is happening in our school. An important exam is ahead of us and everyone's on edge preparing for college admissions. High school students in the nest should aim for universities in the nest as a matter of course. The college scholastic ability test held in most nests every year. This one exam determines a myriad of things. Getting low scores and going to a college in the backstreets won't do you any good. Entering any college in the nest is pretty much the baseline requirement for joining a wing. So, the strange events happening in the school must be disturbing your studies and you want us to resolve it, right? It's not just about my grades. My friends got weird. The whole school is weird. The students and the teachers too. We need you to let us know of what kind of strange occurrences are taking place before we can be of any help. They won't go back home at all. The classes won't end. All of the students. Yes, all of them. What about you? I could only escape. I was in a classroom when I came to my senses. It was past midnight. A teacher was watching us from the front of the class and all my friends were absorbed in study solving problems and workbooks. Aren't parents worried about their children not coming back home? Ezra asked, confused by apparent strangeness. It's Seungneung the CSAT, soon enough. Our school's average scores for the mock tests made in the top 10 in our nest. The parents must have been okay with however the school treated their kids as long as their grades were improving. How long has this anomaly been going on? The last thing I remember before I lost myself was 2 months ago. It was the day when the school announced they're making a scholarship class. They said the students with the highest grades would be selected. A distortion that lasted for 2 months. We should go there and see what's going on for ourselves. Ezra, we're heading into the nest. Yes, Chief. I'll get the fixer license and the associate certificate. I really don't feel like staying in N Corp's nest any longer than necessary. A place full of buildings painted in pure white. I'd end up going crazy in no time if I lived there. So, this is fascinating because I'm fairly sure N Corp is where we're going for the next main canto. Myrtle's canto. Canto 10. I am going to be absorbing information on this one like a, what absorbs things? Like a plant absorbing sun. I don't know. Photosynthesis. I don't know. But, yeah. Cool. Okay. Amazing. Great. A squarish 5-story building is also in white. Though the gate is a white schoolyard, the school is dead silent. Then something foreign catches my eye. A red number floating on top of the rooftop of the school. 5. Meryl, what's that number on top of the school building? Ah, that shows how many days are left until this year's final mock exam. It's painted in menacing blood red. But detective, the number's white just like the rest of the school though? It's a distortion. Red liquid drips from the number sign. Are there any procedures for us outsiders to take before entering? There are, but I don't think anyone cares right now. As we enter the school building, a noise can be heard. Scritch, scratch. The noise grows louder. I think you guys can imagine what that sounds like. It hurts my head. What is this grating noise? It's the sound of the students in each class solving problems on the worksheets. They press the pencils against paper so hard when they write. I look through the windows of the class designated 1-7. 40 students have their heads fixed inches above their desks, only their hands briskly moving. What do those students look like to you, Detective? Amalgamations of numbers in school uniforms. Yeah, yeesh. That means the distortion has progressed by a lot, right? They're pretty much already distorted. What do you mean by distorted? That means the strange events you described are happening in real life. Something showed up at the end of the corridor. It's a moving wall big enough to blockade the corridor completely. Warning. Warning. Students who do not study will face disciplinary action. Detective! It's a distortion, I can see it too! A formula is written on the wall, a distortion made up of math problems. The world is never short of oddities, is it? This one seems to be a calculus problem. Ezra, can you solve that problem for us? No! Why do you even bother asking? Counting is the only kind of calculation she's good at. How about you, Meryl? Well, I'm more of a humanities major. Ugh. Fine, this is the dead end. We have to break through anyhow. All we have to do is solve the math problem on the wall, but no one is up for it. Guess it's up to me now. I took out my ballpoint pen and wrote down an answer on the approaching wall. Wrong answer. You will attend supplementary lessons. Now. Knew it. The wall pressed against us so this is how it ends. I should get someone smarter to be my assistant next time. My consciousness fades. Oh, damn. Okay. When I woke up, I found myself sitting in a desk in the classroom wearing the school's uniform. Students around me are busy solving problems on the worksheets. How much time has passed? A red number 30 floats at the centre of the class. The last one I saw read 5. Does that mean we travelled back to the past? Could this be a case of the distortion that can reverse the flow of time? A sudden burst of force pressed my head from behind. My face was slammed right into the desk. Solve the problems. An oppressive voice ordered me. I skimmed through the worksheet on my desk. 17. Blending 3 humans in a mixer generates 10 units of energy. Given these conditions, what is the optimal solution to dismember 2 humans to generate 15 units of energy? Choliso wants to be an artist. The wing Choliso has to go to does not need any artists. Given these conditions, how many dreams should Choliso kill? There is a cube composed of minuscule humans. The cube factory must meet a certain quota each day. An eyeball can be squeezed for a hexagon. When O is the outer centre of the left eye, how many right eyes are needed to make a cube with a side length that are 4 meters long? A distorted school giving out distorted problems. They must constantly print out meaningless problems that will be just solved without any significance. Oh, Detective! I have no idea what any of these problems say. Ezra's seat was right next to mine. She's looking at me, her face on the verge of tears. I can barely lift my head and look at the number 17. So that was in minutes, not days. Let's wait until the stamp starts. Just write down random things on the worksheet for now. Got it. A voice could be heard again. You have 10 minutes until the mock exam starts. You must strive to solve as many problems as possible. This is all for the sake of your future. The problems you solve will now be your weapons later in life. The number reached 0. Ding, dong, dang, dong. Commencing the mock exam. With that announcement, the school crumbled. All remained were the students on the white plane. Then a tall staircase rose from the middle of the field. A trophy was placed upon it. The exam had begun. Detective, is that a distortion too? I can't believe this. It seems it's time to update my information on the distortion phenomena. Keep it together, Detective. We gotta run for now. It appears that a massive world on its own can be created when the interests and desires of a large group of people coincide. This is my first time seeing a distortion occur on this scale. Mass distortion. Oh, okay. The entire school is distorted. No, it's not just the school building itself. Every student in it is distorted. All the students run towards the staircase trying to climb up it. Some try to nail down the students ahead of them while others push away the students behind them. The numbers add and subtract each other and they multiply and divide by each other. Decimal points pour out of their bodies. This is a war zone for a very vicious battle. A war where everyone recognises each other's numbers. No other words are needed. In this scene of numerical violence, they must add to themselves and divide others. The problems they've solved so far become the weapons to kill each other. When a student assaults another with numbers, the numbers on the victim's head fall off. The number students won't attack us. Perhaps lowly numbers sitting at the bottom of the staircase like us aren't worth of their attention. Hey, fixers! I'm up here! It's Meryl. Her distortion progressed much more in the short span we were separated from her. She was already halfway up to the top of the stairs. Meryl! You should come back down here! Ezra yelled. Meryl, there's no reason to climb those stairs. This is a war, a gamble. Fighting against each other with knowledge and grades on the line. If you don't climb the stairs, you'll be safe from it. No, I'll stay here. We all agreed on this to decide who gets to advance to the scholarship class. Meryl replied, killing other students. You're taking part in the massacre. I'm already halfway there, though. I can go further. A 7 struck Meryl's head out of nowhere. The numbers in Meryl's head scattered as she fell to the floor. Thud, thud, thud. I can hear the sounds of numerous students hitting the floor. The sounds of noise of students killing each other. Ezra has turned away from the sight, looking at the floor. I silently continue to watch the staircase. A student with a number for a head reached the top of the stairs last. The exam is over. Knowledge and grades will be redistributed to students based on how high they are on the staircase. The top 20% will be designated as the scholarship class and receive the honor of representing our school. With a flash, the school returned to normal. The students were on their seats as if nothing had happened. I can see Meryl among them. Meryl, are you alright? Ezra ran towards Meryl to check on her. Meryl gave us a blank stare, muttering meaningless words. She's had everything taken from her. This is absurd. It was a consequence of Meryl's own choice. There's no need for you to feel guilty about it. But let's just head back. Couldn't solve this distortion. We can't expect to solve every problem in the world. I took out my pipe from its inner coat pocket. Why are distorted people all so irrational? They're all too extreme. They distort because their minds are driven into a corner. That impatience leads to leaps in their logic. 40% of the school's graduates are said to be living in seclusion, having failed to enter any college. However, the scholarship class demonstrated an unprecedented amount of successful admissions to prestigious universities, bringing the school's fame and many more required for entrance. The students who successfully climbed up the stairs killing each other will grow into the feathers of the wings. Fluttering those wings, the city soars. Oh man, that was a really good one, because it showed that with these situations, not every problem is solvable. Like, they don't win everything. They can't win every case. You can't win anything in the city. Like, it just shows the brutality of the city itself. And like, even in this case where we had someone that, you know, they all just want to do well in their exams and go to like a good university, but the pressure of that caused everyone to distort, because if you don't get into these prestigious universities, you're not going to have a good life in a wing. And if you don't have a good life in a wing, you might be on a bloody back street, and the back streets are hell. So it's like, you have to do well to get into these. I think the only aspect of school that we've actually seen in Limbus was Sinclair's. So yeah, and we don't know much about Sinclair after school. Obviously, we know what happened to his family, and I think he joined the company not long after that. But obviously, that's where he met Chroma and I was gonna say Blue Scarf Man. Oh my god, my brain, Damien. I was like, and the Blue Scarf Boy. and Damien as well. But it seems like because Chroma's like family member is going to be in the next canto, from what we've seen from what Herman was saying, and is part of Herman's group potentially, like, we hopefully will start to learn a little bit more about Sinclair and what kind of happened after that and stuff. So yeah, but it's, yeah, this is sad. Like, this just shows that like not every case is winnable. And yeah, unfortunately as well, a lot of these cases, yes, they've ended well so far, but they've also ended in death and the people who are distorted dying. So it's like actually saving the people from these distortions hasn't occurred that much, which is really sad. Yeah. Well, the next chapter holds. We're shopping at the workshop district today, which means we get to eat outside, right? We're not going there for leisure. I know, the purpose of the visit to request the workshops for equipment and gadgets we need for our office. Right, chapter 6, Smoking Pipe. And yes, this is the most recent intervallo music that I love. So we're gonna start using some of the music from some of the other ones, you know, vary it up a little bit. Chapter 6, Smoking Pipe. I let out a crimson red breath. We have 1 month until we leave for District 11. I've accepted taking Han Ji-hoon's offer to be an effective truth from this point, and I imagine it will be a long trip. We might never come back even. We're shopping at the Workshop Boulevard today. That means we also get to eat outside, right? We're not going there for leisure. I know. Our purpose of visit is to request the workshops for the equipment and gadgets we need in our office. Ezra spoke with excitement. This could be our very last chance to shop. I know that too. We gotta leave in a month. You can stay here if you want to. I can't just let you eat all the treats down there by yourself, though. The workshop in the boulevards treats various necessities and supplies as well as equipment for fixers. Therefore, it's important to pick up the right workshops according to your needs. Of course, workshops try to advertise themselves as well. Some become known through word of mouth. Despite how complicated it can be to navigate the products at a workshop, I don't expend any effort towards looking for adequate workshop goods myself. My assistant Ezra here is a maniac for workshop products. She seems to have a peculiar tendency to prefer more expensive workshops, but she does a lot of research on various gears and gadgets, and the one she purchases end up being quite reliable. She's pretty much stuffed her personal collection of gadgets in the dimensional bag by now. Detective, the workshops I frequent are all sold out or out of request slots. I wonder what's up. I don't know. Maybe the fingers are out wreaking havoc in some place we haven't seen? So, have you failed to get any of the equipment we wanted? Yepper, I have. We're not going to get the gadgets in time for our requests for any later, Ezra mumbled. I walked the streets believing that things will work out somehow. Detective, behind us! Yes, a bunch of nuisances are after us. Could they be from a syndicate? Maybe an office of fixers or perhaps a wing? Whichever they belong to, they are all essentially the same. They want to extract information from me. Well, to have a friendly chat with the fellows following us into the streets like this, wanting to go deeper into their alleys. We walk slowly through the complex alleyways intertwined like a maze. Steel doors are lined upon the walls, guarding residences that don't appear to be well maintained. The time is noon. The noise of pedestrians fades away while the footsteps of our pursuers become louder. We've arrived at a dead end, an empty lot. This is our favoured spot for conversations, an obscure corner in the streets with no witnesses, and even if a witness were to exist, they wouldn't be able to go anywhere from here. Now, what could you be wondering about, friends? So much as to follow us all the way out here. I took out my pipe from its inner coat pocket and held it between my lips. That's a lot of people. I'm seeing around 30 of them. They were all wearing green suits. The distortion doesn't seem too bad. All of them are holding weapons like bats and knives. One in a green fedora walks up to us and starts speaking. Are you, Moses, for the fixer from Cookie Street? Yes, I am. I answer with a smile. We'd like to purchase that long pipe you're carrying. Well, that was unexpected. Someone already has intel on my pipe. For how much? Ezra asks with sparkling passion in her eyes. 100 million on. Oh, nah, that thing's at least worth 500 million. There's no way we're negotiating for a price that low. Right, Detective? Ezra said in a rather disappointed tone. Not even 500 million on could buy it. This is essentially part of me, you see. I never fathomed the idea of selling it to anyone. Who told you about this pipe, and by the way? That's unfortunate. We were looking forward to a graceful trade. The one in the fedora walked back and blended into the group. Ezra, can you handle them all on your own? Yes, Chief! Ezra yelled as she put a dimensional bag on the ground. Street combat loadout! In response to Ezra's command, the Nesta hammer flew into her hand as she got equipped with the Alice Workshop gloves. A group of 30 people started charging at us all at once. Ezra blocked off the cramped passage of the empty lot by herself as she takes on the gang one by one. Alice Workshop gloves can accelerate the movement of her hands by 5 times the velocity. Activating the glove, she swings her Nesta hammer, a small one-handed hammer suited for combat in confined spaces such as an alleyway we're in now. The hammer is capable of delivering impact to a large area of the object its head comes into with. When the Nesta hammer hits one of the hoodlum in green with such an accelerated force, it punches a wide hole through his chest. She swings violently with her other hand to crush the jaw of another ruffian rushing at her. She breaks the bones and smashes the flesh of one mobster at a time, but not even her superior physique can impede all of them from getting through the passage. Most of all, Ezra is not being serious in the first place. Please take care of the ones I missed, Detective! I'm cutting your salary. What? I let out a crimson red breath. The smoking pipe emitted a scarlet glow before assuming the shape of a sword. I grabbed its handle and prepared to talk. I positioned myself and stabbed the blade into the neck of a thug running at me. With elegance and composure in every step, I puncture a red hole in the body of each gangster coming at me. The strong scent of blood soon filled the alleyway in the lot. Detective! That fedora guy is trying to run away! Ezra yelled at me, her body covered in blood. I breathed a violet breeze into my pipe. The pipe began flailing around as it elongated. It soon shifted into a whip with purple thorns growing out of it. I lashed out my pipe to snatch the ankle of the person in the fedora. They stumbled and fell flat onto their face in a pool of blood. Ezra drags the fallen mobster and drops them in front of me. Tell me, who gave you the information about my pipe? I was trying to avoid using it too often so I wouldn't draw unnecessary attention. I'm afraid I cannot say. Ezra, go have a nice heart-to-heart talk with this fellow. Leaving the interrogation to Ezra, I smoked alone in the empty lot. Not long after, Ezra came back with the person whose face was now mashed pretty badly. Detective, this one seems to have a lock on their brain or something. I can't get them to spill the beans no matter what I do. I lifted the head of the mobster and took a look at the back of their head. The tiny logo of J Corp is branded on it. Indeed. It's locked with a singularity. The client must have spent quite a bit of money. Still, there's a way as long as it's not the more expensive type. I don't know if we've come across J Corp yet, actually, in Limbus. I am kind of curious. I might have a quick look and see if we have come across them. I don't know if we have. I tell a lie, we have been there. So that was the Kanto 2 location was in J Corp. So where the casino was, that's J Corp. So, no, this is good, though. This is good that I'm, like, going back and looking and stuff, because then this helps me get an idea of where, like, everything is. So that's good. But yeah, so apparently one of their things that they can do is locking things, which is fascinating. Yeah, apparently they've also got something to do with tattoos as well. So, yeah, I didn't want to read too much into it, because I want to go through the lore bit by bit, but yeah. Anyways. Here we go. I exhaled a white puff through the pipe. The smoke coils around the mobster's body. Now, take a deep breath in. They began to tremble as they inhaled the smoke. You're not acting out of your own will anymore. You're obeying my will. The lock will obstruct your thoughts no longer. They slowly began to speak at last. Yuria Atelier wanted to study the mechanisms of the pipe. They said it's okay for us to kill as long as we brought that thing. Ezra's eyes were wide open, shocked by what she just heard. Ezra, do you know anything about Yuria Atelier? Of course. It's a premium workshop only accessible to people with their membership. It's probably one of the 10 workshops in District 14, I think. The workshop maniac's eyes sparkled as she gave me an explanation. Then why couldn't we join that membership? The conditions are a bit tricky. I don't know if they'll accept us. They want to study the mechanisms of my smoking pipe, huh? I'm interested in learning how this thing works as well. Do you think that workshop could provide us with the gear we need? Oh yeah, you bet. They certainly have the skills. Ezra, lead me to this Yuria Atelier. Let's say hello to whoever tried to get us killed and take this thug with us just in case. What the next chapter holds. This place is a real piece of work, no wonder we couldn't be invited to that membership. Yeah, I wasn't expecting this much. Oh. See, that sounds familiar. Is that something linked to Roland? Did Roland get some equipment from there? Potentially? Moses' office. Oh, here we go. They handle mysteries and unsolved cases. Moses, age 49, gender female, 7 association, grade 5 fixer, 5'1", closing her eyes and indulging in deep thought, cleaning her smoking pipe, concentration, quick wit. Birthday November 30th, likes tobacco, spending time calmly immersed in thought. Dislikes whiners, impatient people, and noise. Yeah. And then we've got Ezra, age 28, female, 7 association, grade 3 fixer. Oh, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense. Height 1'87" centimeters, 6'2", collecting workshop weapons, snacking on cookies while the detective isn't looking, request fee negotiations, hectic brawling. Birthday January 27th, likes expensive and powerful weapons, sweets such as sugary coffee and cake, small animals, houses, ham pans, mustard sandwiches, dislikes waiting for Moses to finish thinking it's understandable, flowers, she's allergic to them. Oh, that's so cool though. I was gonna say, yeah, it's cool to see, like, lore that they established, you know, like, early on. That's really sick. Okay. Yuria Atelier. Behold your graceful maneuvers, this elegant smoke. Ezra leads the way, carrying the fedora mobster on her shoulder. She seems excited to visit the esteemed workshop she's never gotten to enter before. The mobster with a smashed face tries to negotiate with us. Hey, don't take me to Yuria, please. She's gonna use me as her test subject, I'm sure of it. Should we really care for the well-being of a crook who tried to kill us? Yeah, just kill me now. I'd rather die here than bored to that sick bastard. All the more reason to take you to her then, I answered, smoking from my pipe. Oh, I used to just take a peek at this place when I walked by, and now we finally get to see what's inside. Is this the place? Seems pretty small for a renowned workshop. A square building about 3 meters tall stood by itself at the center of the street. The small letters written on the workshop door read Yuria Atelier. Under that was kind of instruction that read, please knock only if you're part of our membership. I read in a catalog that Yuria Atelier is run by one person. I think it's why it's so small. I assume it only produces goods in small quantities then. That's not the case actually. I heard the workshop values both quality and quantity. That's rather suspicious, but before that, how do we get in here now? I could have Ezra break through the door of this size, but as with most things in the city, you should never judge something by looks alone. The door could very well be armed with some foolhardy security device that melts whoever touches it without authorization. Hey, Fedora, how do we get into this workshop? You've got to have the membership. Well, do you have it? Our syndicate took on the job so that we could get it. How did you meet Yuria then? Detective, actually, Yuria Atelier chooses its own clients. The workshop sends membership invitations to potential patrons, but we haven't gotten anything yet. What kind of stupid criteria makes this fedora-wearing moron eligible and not us? You tell me. Fedora, go open that door. What? No way! Who knows what kind of security system it might have? How about this then? If you do as I say, I won't hand you over to Yuria. You promise? Sure. Fedora walked over to the door. They broke into a cold sweat, hesitating to touch the door before finally reaching out the door handle. Nothing happened yet. They turn the handle and slowly pull it. Creak. The door opens, revealing a staircase leading underground. It seems to go pretty deep down. I knew the workshop couldn't be this small. Wow, detective! I guess the real workshop is down there. Am I free now? Take the lead. Damn it. We walk down the stairs. Tremors can be felt coming from below. My instincts tell me this is no ordinary quiver. Something is approaching us quickly. Detective, what's that? Actually, what is that? A boar? A bear? A giant creature is running towards us. It's a teddy bear! So cute! Ezra spoke gleefully with a twinkle in her eye. What it's about to do to us doesn't seem very cute. A giant teddy bear charged at us on all fours. Is that part of the workshop security system? Curious, perhaps it's... Ezra, stop that thing! Yes! A teddy bear swung its paw at the fedora mobster in front of us, removing the upper half of their body in one clean swipe. Spicy fist mode! Ezra equipped an Amir workshop gauntlet in both of her hands. Thump! The impact of Ezra clashing with the giant teddy bear shed... I want to picture this. I want the artwork of this. Send shockwave through the basement. Ezra's body is augmented through an expensive and unusual procedure. I must say the teddy bear is impressive in its own right for enduring her sheer strength. With a shout, Ezra pushed the bear away and activated her gauntlets. G-Cup Singularity is applied to Namir Workshop gauntlets. The weight of the sphere embedded in the center of the gauntlets can be freely controlled. Ezra raised the weight of her gauntlets and punched the rushing teddy bear in the head. Poof! With a loud noise, the cotton stuffing burst into the air. Ezra's fist ripped a large hole in the teddy bear's head. She continued to pummel the bear with both hands, punching even more holes in the teddy bear's body. Cotton stuffing exits the bear and fills the air with each hit until the bear is beyond torn into recognition. I did a good job, right? Ezra spoke triumphantly. You did indeed. The fact that the teddy bear had nothing but cotton inside of it still bothered me. Going further down, we arrived at a large corridor, and what awaited us there caught us by surprise. This place is a real piece of work. No wonder we couldn't be invited to that membership. Yeah, I wasn't expecting this much. The whole workshop is a distortion. Teddy bears of various sizes are moving diligently. This place is like an automated factory. Whoever's running this factory should be avoiding us if they know anything about the work we do. They're using the distortion to operate their workshop, so obviously they wouldn't want it to be solved. They're so cute though. For you, maybe. At least you have the strength to fend off those teddy bears if they tried to kill you. Walking past the industriously working teddy bears, we reach the end of the corridor. A big workbench is placed there. Other than its enormous size and the use of too many vibrant colours, it appears to be a regular workbench, and someone is standing before it as if she was waiting for us the whole time. Oh my gosh, Yuria! Ezra hopped up and down in excitement. She then took something out of her bag and approached Yuria with a lopping stride. What is she trying to do? Autograph this book here, please! Ezra pleaded, bowing her head. I've been collecting autographs of workshop meisters in this book, you see. Yuria approached me, paying absolutely no attention to Ezra. You must be Moses. I was eagerly awaiting for you. And your pipe, too. Yuria spoke in a youthful voice, a clear and bright voice. The gleam in her eyes was different from Ezra's. There's plenty of workshop equipment that can change form, but that pipe of yours is fundamentally different. I'm sure you're aware of it. It even modifies one's physical makeup without any surgeries or procedures. When did you get that pipe? How did you learn to use it? I've been looking for such an object for so long. I know, right? A detective smoking pipe is so mysterious, right? Ezra chimed in quickly, shoving her booklet back into the bag with her face turning red. How distracting. I never expected the talented Meister to be such an arrogant chatterbox. She's not the kind of person I want to be entangled with. Oh, hang on, we're getting into Red Mist lore, hang on. You know the Red Mist, the legendary fixer? Oh wait, sorry, probably Ezra actually. You know the Red Mist, the legendary fixer? Yeah, I met her a couple of times. Wait, hang on, who? Wait, it's Yuria sorry. It is a tiny bit confusing. I really wish they'd clarify who was talking a little bit better. This is really good. Like, I don't mean to critique it, but it is a little bit, I don't know if it's just me, but it is a little bit difficult to tell who's talking sometimes. You know the Red Mist, the legendary fixer? I'm presuming this then might be Moses. Yes, I met her a couple of times. Oh, that's interesting. Oh. The Red Mist's fabled tales of heroics weren't born out of nothing. The weapons she used to brandish and the clothing she used to wear were actually the same sort of equipment as the smoking pipe you used. Oh, that's interesting. Didn't know that. Yuria paused for a moment. I'm sure you can feel it too, maybe vaguely. That smoking pipe resonates with your emotions. She's right. This pipe is nowhere as simple as the likes of the mechanical arm that moves according to command. It resonates with my feelings as if the pipe is a part of me. I've been running this workshop not to earn cash, but to gather information from the area around me. All of the places I've been to before were busts. But look at this. Bzzzt. A video starts playing from the screen behind Yuria. It's footage of us fighting syndicate gangs in the empty lot earlier. Astonished, Ezra covers her mouth with her hands. interesting. Recorded footage. You had the audacity to break the taboo of District 14. Are young people these days all brash and bold like you? Yuria went on without care for our reactions. Behold, your graceful maneuvers in this elegant smoke. I'm about to fall in love. My expectations were right, Moses. You're the one I've been looking for. Scratch that and just tell me. Do you know how my pipe works or not? No, I don't. Not yet, anyways. Though I can try to study it now. Perhaps I could even improve it into something greater, if we work together, of course. She's a nuisance for sure, but I need to learn more. I must know more about this power given to me. Who gave her this power, though? Who? I have so many questions! Oh my god! So, how are you going to try studying it? By looking into your mind. I'll need to know you. It takes time to get to know each other. How does that sound, Moses? Are you prepared to show me your heart? A detective, do you really trust her? I mean, she sounds so suspicious! Ezra yelled in panic. Moses, you're going to trust me no matter what. I know you can see it. Right. What can I do for you then? I answered softly. Detective! Ezra was desperate for me to make me reconsider. Yuria slowly walked towards me and whispered into my ears. I'll be your assistant. I want to watch you from up close. I'll make gear and equipment just for you. I want to be of help of you. All you have to do is open up your heart to me. Yuria smiled. I put my hand on her forehead for a moment. This reminds me of some unpleasant memories of the past. I remember meeting someone just like her. I had no other option then, I've no option now. The lifeline that descends upon me when there's no way out, I must hold on to. These are the only kind of opportunities that come to me. Ezra, we're going back to the office. Yes, Chief. With Yuria. Empty a storage room for her. What? Yuria followed right behind me while it took Ezra a moment to get moving. The storage room in our office was remodeled into Yuria's personal space. She promised to make equipment for us under one condition, that we take her with us whenever we set off to solve cases. Detective, it's so weird. Why are you solving her distortion? She broke the taboo of the district too. Ezra complained as she stuffed ham-pang-pangs mayonnaise-flavored sandwich into her mouth. I'm simply making use of Yuria's strengths, and I have you to count on, so don't worry. I soothed Ezra. Imagine she's going to be sulky for a while. I, Moses, have no other trust in human beings. I do not trust the words of Yuria, a stranger. I simply trust my eyes. She's not distorted. I do not see any distortion from Yuria. Oh! So she's like one of the only people that Moses has come across that is not distorted. That's interesting. What the next chapter holds. Not waking from their dreams, huh? What kind of dreams could they be having to make faces like this? Ezra said, tilting her head to the side. They seem to have escaped into their dreams. We should have a look at their recent work records. Yuria spoke with a smile. Yeah, I thought so too. I said in agreement. Ezra groaned. Oh dear, and I was trying to appease Ezra for a while now. So, they've got a new member of the Distortion Detectives. Chapter 8. Taeyong Produce Company. If this problem isn't fixed in time, I'm going to get fired and all my subordinates will get sacked. 3 people sat around the dining table for 2. It's early in the morning and Ezra is already glaring at Yuria. She must be irked by this little intruder that popped into our ordinary life. It's curious how you can stare at me for 30 minutes straight, all while having breakfast. Wouldn't you agree, detective? Yuria spoke with a smile. You small little thing! Detective Moses, it looks like Ezra is mocking us for our height. That's not... Noises, my head is ringing. The rice is well cooked and yet I'm losing my appetite thanks to the noisy ruckus those two are causing. This has been going on for a week. I have to deal with this every morning for the rest of my life. Quiet! Owie! Ugh. The yelps then kicked them in the shin. Could you two keep it down while we're eating at least? Ezra and Yuria nodded. My appetite is finally restored in the fresh serenity. I place a quail egg boiled in soy sauce with warm rice and eat it. The food we bought from Rand's side dish stall, a grocery store that recently opened up near our office, turned out to taste good. I should visit them more often. After finishing the meal, I headed out to the terrace to smoke as per my daily routine. Ezra, do the dishes. Yes, Chief. Listening to the sound of Ezra washing dishes, I puff out tobacco smoke and look below. Distorted creatures are heading to distorted workplaces as usual. This scenery of the street will forever be the same. Yuria, is all the gear all finished? Sure thing. 11 pieces in total, right, Detective Moses? 11 pieces of equipment in just 1 week. It's quite impressive. Besides, the gear was commissioned by Ezra, not me. Likely she must have asked for complex and elaborate gadgets to spite her. Their quality is yet to be demonstrated, but the production speed is certainly on the level of a Meister. Ezra, is that the correct amount? Ezra stops cleaning the dishes for a minute and nods while staring at the plate she's holding. Seems that the two won't even properly talk to each other anytime soon. If you keep refusing to cooperate with each other, I'm cutting your salaries, you two. Ugh. I don't mind that, though. I'm not working here for money, after all. Yuria responds nonchalantly. I don't mind that either, Detective. You don't have to pay me at all this month. Can't believe Ezra would go so far as to say that. These two make such a childish pair. I place my hand on my forehead. I won't care what the hell you do with each other. So just don't let your little feud disturb our work. Yes. Got it. We haven't had any noteworthy requests since we took in Yuria. They were all trivial matters where I didn't have to use my pipe, and most of them weren't even cases of distortion at all. I expected Yuria to be disappointed by this uneventfulness, but she seemed hardly bothered. I went downstairs with my pipe still in my mouth and rummaged through the request box. An envelope happened to be waiting for me. I tore it open and read the inside. This case smells like a big one. The three of us walked the streets together. Do you get requests from companies too? Yuria asks. Companies in the back streets are our most frequent clients, in fact. They love to simply pass the burden of dealing with troublesome instances into the offices that specialize in solving them. I answer, holding my pipe between my teeth. Ezra is following us a few steps behind in silence. I suppose I should try to humor her today. We arrive at the company building. It's a rather large enterprise that occupies the entirety of the 10-story building. Perhaps it's a subcontractor of a wing. Ezra and I present our fixer IDs as well as a letter of request to the lobby, while Yuria showed her workshop union certificate. We received visitors' pass each and wore them around our necks. The security guard waiting at the elevator confirmed the passes and asked for our destination, floor 8. Giving a brief answer, we took the elevator up to the floor written in the letter of request. When the elevator doors opened on the 8th floor, someone greeted us. Hello, dear fixers. I've been waiting for you. Here's my business card. The card introduced them as Kang Jin-sil, section manager of Tae-Young Produce Co. I've requested 3 officers about this matter so far, but none of them could resolve it. If this problem isn't fixed in time, I'm going to get fired, and all my subordinates will get sacked too. You don't have to worry anymore. Detective Moses over here will elegantly take care of the case for you. Yuria intervened while Ezra still remained quiet. Greetings. I'm Moses of Moses' offices, handling mysteries and unsolved cases. May I ask who recommended our office to you? The Arme office recommended you to us. They said Moses' offices should be the perfect fit for this kind of case. Arme offices, that must be where Karu is. The kid likes to complain, but they subtly care about us quite a bit. Oh, I don't know who that is. Karu. Okay. Let's get right to the point. Where are the people suffering from the symptoms you described in the letter of request? Those employees are actually in the sleeping chamber of the 4th basement floor and not up here. A sleeping chamber? What is a sleeping chamber doing in a company? Yuria asked curiously. That means that this is a corrupt company that forces employees to work overtime so often they don't get any time to go back home for sleep. Ezra replied in a plain tone. Oh my. Well, it's not just us, you see. Most firms do the same these days. Manager Kang appeared rather perplexed by what Ezra said. Please, lead the way then. Of course, this way, please. We got back into the elevator. Manager Kang tagged their security key card on the elevator's control panel, revealing a set of buttons that led to basement floors. This company building goes as deep as 15 floors underground. One could very well run into some hidden ruins at this depth. What kind of project company goes so deep underground? Ezra asked. I'm afraid I can't answer that in much detail. You can just think of the underground space as our warehouse. Manager Kang answered as they pressed the button on the 4th basement floor. With a jingle, the elevator arrived at its destination. We were met with complete darkness when we stepped out. Oh my, why is it so dark in here? Because it's where people sleep, duh. Ezra answered Yuria's question again. Manager Kang groped along the wall for a light shift, and soon enough, orange light bulbs on the ceiling lit up one row at a time. Flick, flick, flick. More people could be seen with each light bulb lit. Numerous people were lying on the floor, arranged in an orderly manner. As you can see here, the employees won't wake up at all. Not waking from their dreams, huh? What kind of dreams could they be having to make faces like this? Ezra said, tilting her head to the side. They seem to have escaped into their dreams. We should have a look at their recent work records. Yuria spoke with a smile. Yes, I thought so too, I said in agreement. Ugh, Ezra groaned. Oh dear, and I was actually hoping to appease Ezra for a while now. That's not all, actually. Oh. Okay, so they're like chanting a load of words together? All the people lying on the floor opened their eyes and began chanting unintelligible words in unison. Their wide underground floor was soon filled with the voice of many. Ugh! Ezra freaked out. I think there was some sort of hidden message in what they just uttered. Yuria spoke with her eyes closed, focusing on the sound. The voices once again echoed through the floor. Manager, we'd like to check their work records for the past month. I turned around and spoke to Manager Kang, who I expected to be right behind us. Kang Jing-sil was inside the elevator. Ka-chink. A steel gate then blocked the entry to the elevator. My apologies, fixers. I'm sure you people are capable enough to handle this, right? The elevator doors began sliding. Tell me, what happened to Karu from Arme office? You'll be able to find out soon enough. I hope you can survive this hell. The elevator doors were closed completely. They got us good. The light bulbs on the ceiling flicker. Every time the light bulbs flickered, hundreds of eyes lying on the floor could be seen gazing at us. Oh god, that's creepy. Ezra, what we're about to face is something completely different from anything we've dealt with before. Yes, detective. Ezra puts on her dimensional bag on the floor. Yuri, observe me to your heart's content. Of course I will. I held the smoke pipe to my lips. I closed my mouth. Oh, okay. Interesting. So yeah, it seems like definitely a critical moment is about to occur. Ooh, I would do Karu is though, from Arme office. I've not heard of Arme office before. I don't believe that was one that was in Ruiner. It doesn't sound familiar, but if it is, let me know down in the comments below. Chapter 9, Crimson Point. Every atrocious moment of the past throughout my life swirls around me. Detective, I'm so hopeless with this kind of stuff. Ezra took cover behind me, speaking in a faint, squeaky voice. She's not helping, I suppose. Shall we start by looking for an exit, detective? Ah! She still has the nerve to take jabs at Ezra at times like this. I wonder if she ever gets tired of it. Do you have the night vision goggles or something of the sort? Right, there's a few in my dimensional bag. I'm the one who crafted the glasses, though. Well, I planned out the functions for them. I commend you both, so hand me the damn glasses already. Ezra rummaged through her dimensional bag and took out 3 pairs of eyeglasses, handing a pair to each of us. The temples of the glasses are decorated with ribbons, typical northern workshop fashion. Do they really have to adorn everything they make with such ornaments? Putting on the eyeglasses, I could gain a clear vision of the chamber as if it was brightly lit by the sun. Even with the light bulbs on the ceiling blinking frantically, the glasses automatically compensate for the rapid changes in brightness, allowing me to see things in a constant degree of brightness. Quite impressive. I would have had to rely on a lighter to barely see things right in front of us in the old days of just Ezra and I working together. It certainly is convenient to have a Meister working for our office. Detective, what do we do if they all start jumping at us? Ezra worriedly asks. I'm pondering on what to do as well. Looking around, I can count 108 employees in total. They're all blinking at the same time, chanting the same words. What could this mean? For what purpose, perhaps? It seems as if the minds of these people are linked together. Detective, over there! Ezra points towards a mashed pile of flesh lying under a corner of the sleeping chamber. There were several of them around the chamber, in fact. I can see at least 8 of them, all created at different times. We approached the pile that appears to be the most recent. It's a dead body, as I suspected. A corpse that was crushed brutally. Something in this room smashed people. Oh, that's not what you want. They were thrown with tremendous force. It's been at least 33 hours since this blood was spilled, judging from its state. This body seems to have suffered heavy internal damage. Yuri said as she observed the pile of flesh with a magnifying glass. Karu. Oh, okay, so this is Karu, who's super dead. Okay. Oh, that's sad. This sword belonged to Karu. This means our opponent has enough physical strength to pound a grade 4 fixer to a pulp. Oh, fuck. Okay, that's worrying. The rest of the lumps of flesh nearby are likely what became of the other fixers from Arme office. There's nothing in our sight that appears to be the culprit, however. The only other things in this space are 108 sleeping employees of a produce company still wearing their suits and 3 of us. Detective, how do these employees appear to your eyes? Ezra asked. Well, obviously, they all have different forms of distortion. No, something is different. The employees did have distortions of their own, but without any common trait to be found, much like I see those of the streets. Yet, their distortions are beginning to disappear. The one whose face was missing regains their face. The one whose right arm was scorched had their arm restored. Cylindrical objects have been removed from another person. The distortions are all gathering to a certain spot. I look towards the point where all the distortions are converging, smoke billowing out from what appears to be an altar. Oh, fabulous! Oh, awesome! That's what we want! Not terrifying at all. Then, their chant must be some kind of code or a ritual to summon something. The smoke gradually condenses into a certain shape. Should we kill all the employees sleeping here? We don't even know what may manifest from that smoke. It's hard to judge something we know nothing about. I don't get a good feeling about this. It could turn out to be a favourable phenomenon. It could be an opportunity. But at the same time, it's also just as likely to be something that could kill us all. I cannot make any judgment on this phenomenon that I'm experiencing for the first time. Should I kill 108 people at my own discretion based on an uncertain possibility? The lives of Ezra and Yuria depend on my decision. My thoughts accelerate. Ezra and Yuri are saying something to me. Damn it, I know. I should come up with something. If I were to use my white breath, I could control more than 108 people at once. I've never tried something of that scale yet. However, I'll only end up ruining myself if even the worst case scenario. Yes, this is the most plausible option I have. Having made up my mind, I opened my eyes. The floor under each employee opened up, storing them in the space below, as if they were being used as batteries of the mind. It was too late. Only 3 of us remained in the 100 pyong space until we noticed something standing before us. At least 3 meters in body size, 6 arms, massive muscles that looked like they could burst at any moment, a skeleton head, blue flames spurting out from its gaping mouth, red eyes staring at me. The shape was complete. The creature assumes a bizarre pose. This is a completely hostile entity. Oh shit! What is that? What? That sounds crazy! Okay, I want to see the design. I hope there's art for this. This is a completely hostile entity. Instinctual fear overwhelms us. Yuri grabbed my sleeves tight. Ezra's eyes changed. Ezra, what we're about to face is something completely different from anything we've dealt with before. Yes, detective. Ezra puts a dimensional bag on the floor. Yuri, observe me to your heart's content. Of course I will. I held my pipe between my lips. I closed my eyes and began breathing in. The distortion is the same scent as the pianist. Oh god, okay, that's bad. A distortion dedicated to slaughtering people. One moment of carelessness means death, yet I'm beginning to feel excited. I suppose this old habit will die hard. All out assault mode, Mark 3! Ezra's dimensional bag emitted an orange glow as she shouted. Ezra armed herself with exoskeletons of various shapes all over her body. Ezra's big, bulky body was made even bigger, her size now comparable to the beast we're facing. I noticed the exoskeletons she's wearing don't exactly appear to be the ones I saw her use before. These must be Yuri's work, although it seems that Ezra found the time to stipple them with stickers like she does with everything else she owns. When did you plaster my gear with silly stickers like that? Yuri complained as expected. If it looks like we're about to die, don't look back and just run. I'm sure you can fix that elevator somehow. I'll earn you enough time. Ezra spoke in a calm tone. What are you talking about? Yuria spoke with her usual impudence. I placed my hand on my forehead. Stop jinxing us, you two. We're all making it back alive. Boom! With a thunderous kick against the floor, the giant leaped at me. Its skeletal head came right in front of me in the blink of an eye, one of its arms winding up for a punch. A clean hit from a fist could turn me into a pulp. I stood still and closed my eyes. Bang! Ezra cut in immediately and sent the giant creature flying as quickly as it approached me. I won't let you so much as lay a finger on the detective. Swoosh. Crashing into wall, the giant soon jumped out and threw its fists at Ezra's. Ba-bang! Ezra held her arms high and deployed a powered shield to block its attack. My hair and coat fluttered as the blast of air created from its impact. That skeletal giant is a purely physical being. I doubt its psychological attacks will have any effect on it. I could try restricting its movement to assist Ezra, but even if I did, can she deliver the finishing blow to that monster? I doubt that either. Ezra, protect me with all your strength. Yes, Chief! Ezra responded loud and clear. I inhaled a crimson red breath. Yuria-style rotary drill! 3 drills emerged from the exoskeleton on Ezra's right arm as she thrust at the skeleton beast's body. They struggled to penetrate the giant's hard skin, throwing up sparks in all directions. The giant used 2 of his arms to grab Ezra's right arm and pushed her away while charging up strength with the other 4. Ezra continues to strike the giant's waist with the left arm. Boom! 4 straight punches landed Ezra at once. The sheer strength of the giant's forearms knocked Ezra across the chamber and into the wall. I inhaled a crimson breath. You dummy! Use the axe! Yuria yelled urgently. Yuria-style axe! Ezra pulled a long pole from her back, which turned into a 2-handed battle axe of a normal size. That sounds so sick. I never thought this stupidly large axe would actually see use, Yuria mumbled. I inhaled a crimson red breath. Ezra charged at the giant with the axe in her hands. At the same time, the Colossus lifts its right arms and lunges at her. Slice! 3 muscular arms of the giant flung into the air, cleaved clean by the axe. It's an axe sharpened by my teddies in my workshop for 4 whole days, but it cuts better than the hyperoxylation blade. Huh? It really does! Ezra's eyes sparkled with enthusiasm. I inhaled a crimson red breath. Watch out! Yuri gave Ezra a warning. Zoom. Shoo. The cleaved right arms morphed into sharp stakes and wedged into Ezra's flesh. Ezra swings her axe up, chopping off the arm stakes still stuck in her body. Ezra then proceeded to kick the giant right away and swung her axe into the giant's body this time. Clang. Ezra, the edges are all worn down now. Ezra threw the frayed axe onto the ground. I inhaled a crimson red breath. Ezra and the giant engage in a brutal scuffle. The titan ruthlessly pummels Ezra with its 3 remaining arms and legs, crushing her exoskeleton bit by bit. Blood gushes from the stake stuck in her body. Detective Moses, please! Yuri cried at me. I inhaled a crimson red breath. I do not stop inhaling. I close my eyes and sink into the inner world. Every atrocious moment of my past throughout my life swirls around me. The memories of violence I never want to recall. Blood, scars, corpses, pain, war, carnage. I concentrate all of that malice into a single point. Good work, Ezra. The smoking pipe became a scarlet, coarse cylinder in my hand. I aimed the cylindrical shape at the oversized skeleton. Crimson point. I stabbed the cylinder into the giant. The cylinder expanded about 5 meters, erasing the creature's upper body. It bore a hole through the giant's body, a hole created from physical force, yet the origin of that force was neither external or internal. It was what was simply once there vanished. My body was shaking, my eyes were bloodshot, my mind was swarmed with destructive impulses. I must maintain reason. I coughed out a thick clot of blood, then I felt a familiar embrace. It's all right, Detective. It's over now. Ezra hugged me, her body soaked in blood. Yuria sat next to me, sitting on the floor crying, and I could come back to myself. You all did well. I stood back up and adjusted my coat. It's about time we figured out just what's going on in this damn company. I put my pipe in my mouth. Damn, that was such a good chapter. I like the fact that it really built up the tension with, like, Moses, like, smoking the pipe. It's very similar to how we saw when we were battling Mateus. And, yeah, obviously, like, they were holding back Mateus, so Moses had the time to, like, power up moves from behind. But obviously, it's such a fucking powerful move, like, holy shit. But it seems to have a real impact on her mental state. I want to know more about it. Okay, that which the next chapter holds. A white-haired person in a hanbok. Detective, could that be? Ezra gave me an unnerved look. It means that scoundrel dropped by this company. What are you two talking about? Yuri asked us. Okay, report on Yuria. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, is this what she looks like? Oh, her design's really cool. Very, like, steampunk. Oh, she looks cool, though. But it doesn't seem like she's got much combat prowess, right? So Yuria, age 21, gender female, affiliation, grade mice is self-proclaimed, so she's 5'7". Having tea party with the teddy bears is what she claims, though they essentially appear to be brainstorming ideas for weapon ideas. Crafting quality equipment at high speed, July 15th. So likes teddy bears, Brita brewed coffee, collecting unique adhesive plasters, band-aids. Just like things that get in her way, cherry cupcakes and coffee with syrup or sugar. Oh, okay. Here we go. We've got Han Ji-hoon as well. Oh, okay. Han Ji-hoon, 37 male, 7 association, HQ section 2. It is the one that Faust's got an ID for. Grade 2 fixer. Holy fuck. Okay, so that's strong. 5'7". I wouldn't really say he has any. The only thing he did whenever I saw him was the work that's put in front of him. Specialties, quick analytic prowess, level-headed judgment. Birthday July 20th. Likes tidiness, sweet coffee with about 3 sugar cubes. Dislikes affairs that leave mess which need to be dealt with afterwards. Chapter 10. Blockade. An artificial distortion created by someone's design. Yuria, you're more than capable of repairing this elevator, right? Yes. Please get it fixed as quickly as possible. I'll be looking after Ezra for a bit. No worries, Detective. I've been through this much a lot. There's been a few occasions that could harm Ezra this badly, though injuries in general are still not a concern for her. So it wouldn't hurt to take extra caution considering that it's the distortion we're dealing with this time. I came near Ezra, who's resting on the floor, and took out a first aid kit from her dimensional bag. It's been a while since I bandaged your wounds myself. It really has. The stakes embedded in Ezra's body fizzled into vapor when the skeleton beast fell. I wrap a Fenol workshop pressure bandage on the open wounds. Blood is still oozing out, but it doesn't seem to be any signs of infection or transmission. What was up with this distortion, Detective? These things seem to get tougher and tougher. Could it be the same type as the mock exam case? Beats me. Alright, take care of the rest yourself. I stood up and approached the altar-like black box on the other end of the chamber. The distortions of this company's employees were sucked into this box, which then created a white smoke that manifested in one giant distortion. That wasn't a mass distortion shared by many people like the one we saw in the mock exam case. An artificial distortion created by someone's design. Holy fuck, someone's created a fucking artificial distortion? It's the fucking last thing we need. Ezra, come get this weird thing when you're done bandaging. Got it, Chief. Ezra picked up the bag and dusted herself off as she stood up. Detective Moses, the elevator is working. We can get to any floor we want now. This company intentionally put its employees to sleep in this underground chamber and hired fixers to fight against the man-made distortion. What are they planning to do with it? Develop it into a weapon? They could manage to control the distortion through technical methods. They'd shake up the balance of power for sure. But how exactly? How is it possible to quantitatively measure and manipulate the human mind through a device or two? The technology that could achieve such a feat would be nothing short of a singularity. It's not an advancement that some obscure company in the backstreets can make on its own. Something is up with this company. This company is fishy as fuck. Let's head to the 8th floor. Understood. We're heading up. Ezra hurriedly hopped into the elevator. The strange box fortunately seems to fit into her dimensional bag somehow. Sionbei, are you feeling alright? As silence ensues. Ezra Sionbei. Me? I'm your Sionbei? Ezra exclaimed with surprise. Since we're both assistants of Detective Moses and you're my senior here, I'm calling you Sionbei from here on out. Yuria seemed to finally have acknowledged Ezra. Oh my gosh, Detective! She must be distorted! Let's save the friendly jokes for when we get back to our office. We're almost at the 8th floor now. Ding dong. We were met with a strong scent of blood as when the elevator door opened. This is the smell of fresh blood. The office was overgrown with green vines bearing countless red fruits on the ceiling. My eyes traced along the stems of the vines starting from the tips on the ceiling. They led back to the agape mouths of this company's employees. None of them were alive. This is the same box we've seen in the sleeping chamber was placed in the middle of this room, yet another distortion. Detective, does this mean there's more like the one we just fought? Concerned, Ezra asked. I placed my hand on my forehead. We can't take this anymore. Both Ezra and I are my limits. We'll be dead meat if we face another distortion at the level of the one we just encountered before. Ezra, Yuria, our objective now is to survive. Follow every order I have to give you. The two non-response. Wee-woo. The siren went off, followed by an announcement. Emergency lockdown. Emergency lockdown. Tae-Young Produce Company is closing business as of now. Repeat, Tae-Young Produce Company is of closing business as of now. Dear employees, as per the terms of the employment contract, you may not leave the company building. Repeat. Shutters came down the office windows one by one. Oh, this is such a trap. These bitches. These bitches. God damn it. Ezra, use as much force as possible to break open that window right now. Yes, Chief. Ezra equipped both Namir Workshop and Alice Workshop gauntlets on her hands and dashed one of the windows in a powerful strike. The massive weight of the punch sent tremors through the office but only left a dent on the shutter. That was no ordinary steel. We're completely trapped here. I took out my pipe and started smoking from it. Detective Moses, the elevator is no longer functioning. The building's main system is entirely shut down. Yuria gave me bad news on top of this. Oh man, I hear something shattering. Did the window give in to impact? Of course not. I was a dunce and a fool to make such a hasty assumption. Ezra, get your stigma blade ready. And Yuria, can you make a device that can start a fire currently? None that I can craft at the moment, but I could try using something I prepared for your smoking pipe, Detective Moses. The red objects hanging from the ceiling were not fruit of any time. They were eggs. We were in a hatchery? Oh, shit. Of some sort. The shock of Ezra's punch caused those eggs to hatch. Massive mosquitoes with the faces of humans slowly crawled out of the cracked shells. Ugh! Ew, what the fuck? What is this place? Detective, they're coming! Ezra yelled urgently. Yuria, let's try what you suggested, whatever it is. Handing my pipe over to Yuria, Ezra held the blade and prepared herself for combat. The mosquitoes hovered in the air for a moment before charging at us. Ezra's fiery sword sliced through several mosquitoes, but it wasn't nearly enough to stop them all. The insect bit Ezra and started sucking the blood out of her body. Make it quick, Yuria. It's done. Try imagining fire in the same way when you turned your pipe into the red sword. She gave me back my pipe, now with a red ribbon tied around it. I let in a red breath. Bursts of flames rose from the pipe's bowl, which then took the form of birds. The burning birds fly into the giant pests feasting on Ezra and set them ablaze. Thanks, Detective. My body rapidly grows cold. It's as if the life's warmth has been drained away. I suppose everything must come at a price. Let's take the stairs over there. This door is unlocked, thankfully. Yuria gave us good news this time, flinging open the door on the stairwell. The birds of the flame bought us enough time to make our way to the door. Goodness. Yuria quietly mustered as soon as she stepped into the stairwell. The stream of people flow along the staircase. It's literally a river of humans. They flow down the stairwell, their limbs tangled up together. Oh my god. It's so fucking sick. Oh god. Detective, is this the end for us? Ezra barely managed to speak. Not today, I answered faintly. Dude. Oh my god. I am enjoying this. Yeah. I like it going over multiple chapters. But also it feels very doomed. Chapter 11, The Tide. In this rush, I desperately held onto Ezra and Yuri's hands. There is a swift torrent of people that looks as if it could carry off anyone who may carelessly tread in it. We're out of options. Our only choice is to let the current take us to wherever it may lead to. Ezra, Yuria, I need you to trust me. Sure thing, Chief. Alright. We're jumping into this stream. Understood. What? The difference in attitude is palpable. I'm the first step into the river. I was sucked in as soon as I was immersed a foot ankle deep into the stream of flesh. As I quickly descend along the wave, I catch a glimpse of each floor. The 7th floor where the employees are crawling on all fours, viciously preying on each other. The 6th floor where humans folded into cuboid shapes are stacked up. A 5th floor where drowned employees were floating in the air. A 4th floor where a number of people are offering a human sacrifice what appears to be the statue of a person to reach nirvana. The 3rd floor where the mind of employees are being absorbed by a dark shade. In the turbulent tide of humans tangled with one another, my consciousness slowly fades. The boundary of consciousness is collapsing. People's distortions join each other in the large flow, entering the underground floors. I'm confident I can keep a firm grip on my sanity, but can Yuria and Ezra retain themselves in this current just the same? My worries soon erode into fragments and drift along the stream. Reminiscences of the past swell up in my mind. Memories of my past missions, companions I couldn't protect. My incompetence that drove them to their demise. It's as if all my regret and longing is being stirred up. The emotions become one with the flood and float away. In this rush I desperately held onto Ezra and Yuria's hands. How far have I gone down? How much time has passed? When I came back to my senses, no one was around me. Where did all the people go? What about Ezra and Yuria? My head is pounding. You must be awake now. A nostalgic yet despicable voice reaches my ear. If you're hearing this, it most likely means you're at the 15th basement floor of Teo Project Co. You've always loved playing silly games like this. You must have a lot of questions for me. That's a pre-recorded message. I can now see why I handed Humanvis to my office recently. I've been playing into his hands all along. Indeed. You've always trusted me and did every favor I asked of you. I'm guessing you were behind the incident I caused that day as well. This is not the time for that, though. We have more important questions to address. Why did I leave a message here to talk with you? What happened to your adorable assistants? How was I able to use the distortion to my advantage? Oh, so it's that evil bitch. Okay. I won't let your cunning words sway me anymore, you sly serpent. It's my business to take care of my partners, and I decide my own path as well. Sure you do. I'm just trying to give you a small heads up. All the anomalies that occurred in this company, they were set up for one reason. I wanted to let you know that I found a clue about the distortion you're chasing after. As you've seen here, I can now harness the distortion to an extent. Moses, doesn't this give you a glimmer of hope that you may finally repent for what you did? You know I was already about to go meet you anyway. There was no need to pull this nonsense on us. But if I didn't go to such lengths, at the very minimum, your hatred towards me wouldn't have carried much weight at all, now would it? What a paltry concern. I'm carefully preserving all my wrath just for you. Why don't you prepare a silver platter in the meantime so I can put your head on it? Swirl, click. You must be awake by now. If you're hearing this, that most likely means you're at the 15th basement floor of the Taeyong Project Co. That son of a bitch. He knows how to mess with me too well. I must focus on finding Ezra and Yuria for now. Flick. Fluorescent lamps light up the underground space. This was the 15th basement floor. It's entirely surrounded by pure white surfaces, and Ezra is standing idly in the middle of it. Ezra. I took out my smoking pipe and put it in my mouth. Then I placed my hand on my forehead. It looks like Ezra Distortion is still within my ability to solve. She seems so tiny and powerless, standing on the opposite side of the room with her head bowed. Detective. I couldn't protect her. This is just like back then. I trusted you, Detective. Yuria was still laid at Ezra's feet, unconscious. Though, I still believe in you, actually. Yuria's red ribbon still tied to my smoking pipe. I quietly tasted the smoke as I looked up to the ceiling. Large antlers resembling those of the stag were grown on Ezra's head, though my eyes... Ezra has always worn a mask on her face, though. I could never quite tell whether that mask was the true expression of her feelings, but this time, numerous masks are plastered all over her body. The river of distortions got her in the end. I suppose solving the distortions of my precious sidekick is one case I can work on free of charge. I let in a violet breath. Oh, holy shit! Ezra's fucking distorted now? Oh my god. Well, it said, like, he was saying, wasn't he, that Ezra and that guy, was it Jude? Like, they were the only survivors of, like, what Moses did. And, like, it seems that Moses, like, broke their trust. So I do wonder, obviously Ezra clearly followed Moses here. So I'm wondering, like, and became her assistant. So I'm wondering how they knew each other in the past and, like, what Moses did. Like, what did Moses do that's, like, unforgivable? But also then, that makes so much fucking sense why Moses was talking to Gregor about it. Because Moses, like, did some shit that she regretted and hurt people that she... Oh, it makes sense. That makes so much fucking sense. That makes so much sense. Right, chapter 12, masks. Let's dance, Ezra. Ezra, a diligent child who has little faith in herself. Ezra wore a different mask every day. I could only read the expression of the mask covering her face. I don't know what her true expression beneath that mask may be, but I decided to accept what's shown on Ezra's mask as her expression. I never bothered to fully resolve her distortion until now. This time is different. She's on the verge of losing herself, swept by others' distortions. Her entire body is covered in the masks of many others as proof of her perilous state. Ezra prepares a mask for each person she confronts. Ezra prepares a motion for each mask she wears. I can only begin to fathom the storm raging in her mind. The 15th basement floor. Ezra and I are facing each other in this white room. Loud noises came from Ezra's masks. Voices of laughter, crying, anger, anxiety, melancholy, distrust, disgust, and joy fill the chamber. I coiled my violet whip around my hand. Let's dance, Ezra. I lashed out at Ezra, my first target, a laughing yellow mask on her right leg. A voice rings in my head when I grapple the mask with my whip. What's your favorite kind of sandwich, Moses? Mine would be mustard. Then mustard is my favorite too. I pull the whip to tear off the yellow mask from her body. It makes me feel nauseous. Ezra lets out a scream. Please bear with it for just a bit. The red mask on Ezra's left shoulder gives out a screech. Ezra grabs the whip and pulls me towards her. I release the tension in my body. In a moment's notice, I'm sent flying in her direction. Ugh, I'll kill them all. I'll break everyone who's got to die. Ezra swings her fist at me as I'm being dragged towards her in the air. Using the momentum of the pull, I manage to propel my body away from her fist's path. I wrap the whip around Ezra's body and jump onto her shoulders. Then I grab the red mask and with my hand to tear it off. Use violence only when it's necessary. Shrieking, the red mask is ripped out and thrown to the ground. My hand turned red from the searing heat of the mask. Ezra struggled hard, crushing me to the floor in process. I felt a sore pain. A bone or 10 might have gone a crack. Ugh. Cost a fortune to get my back fixed. I confronted Ezra's mask and tore them off one by one. With every mask I removed from her, a burst of Ezra's emotions came forth. An ice-cold mask, a mask that eats away the mind, the mask with rusted nails hammered into it. These are not your true emotions. They're facades. Faces you want other people to see of you. I was scalded, bled from splinters, got frostbite and throat from sickness. Only one mask remained. It's sadness, the absolutely last mask of Ezra that I wanted to face. Oh my fucking god, this is so sad. I couldn't save them. That time, I couldn't protect them all. I'm so sad. The blue mask embedded in the center of Ezra's chest is crying, tears falling from its eyes. No, dear. That sadness isn't yours. The emotion was forced upon you by others. If you aren't feeling sad, there's no need for you to make yourself feel sad, no matter how others look at you. But I am feeling really sad, though. You aren't sad because you couldn't save everyone that day. It was an excruciating task to bring myself to speak the next part, but I continued on nonetheless. You're sad that I'm bearing regret for what happened. The mask opened its mouth and began wailing loudly. My head felt like it was on the verge of bursting from hearing its cry. An unstoppable stream of tears started falling from my eyes. The mask broke apart and several shards were stuck in my chest. The wounds bled tears instead of blood. Ezra was back to her usual self. She knelt down, staring at the floor. I slowly walked over to her. It's over now, dear. Angelique caressed her head. Detective, I'm sorry. Ezra whimpered. The next issue at hand is Uria. She seems to be in a perilous condition as well, though she doesn't seem to have been afflicted with the torrent of distortions judging from the state of her body. I placed my hand on her forehead and wiped my pipe. Or whiffed my pipe, sorry. That was so sad. Oh my god. Like, damn. So, like, has Ezra been distorted this whole time? And, like, I think she has been. And Moses didn't deal with it up until this point because it didn't completely take over her. Like, she knew that she was wearing different masks, but she didn't stop it up until this point. But it's now because obviously it was taking over, she had to face it. And obviously a lot of this is caused by Moses, like Moses' actions. Oh, that's so sad, but it shows like how much Moses holds her in regard and how much she means to her. That's so freaking cute, but sad at the same time. Damn. Chapter 13, Teddy Bear. I want to see the same scenery as you do. There's little I know about Uria as a person. This child and I have one thing in common, however. I do not see any distortion from Uria. Uria was lying on the floor with her eyes closed. I opened an eyelid to check the pupil response. This isn't an ordinary coma. Her self has been detached. I've seen this kind of condition before. The body is alive, but the mind is dead. Thankfully, her brain is still functional. There's still a chance. Ezra, bring me a scalpel, sterilized. I need one I can cut through bone. Roger, you're gonna perform the operation I'm thinking of, right? I'll take out the stasis preservation cube in that case. Yes, we're extracting her brain. I pulled out a pair of sterile gloves in the inner pocket of my coat and snapped them on. Are you guys insane? A small voice tickles my ears. It's Uria's voice. Over here, I'm here. Detective, the teddy's moving. A teddy bear strapped to Uria's waist is wiggling its body. Ladies, could you keep my brain inside my head and release me from this belt while you're at it? Okie dokie. Oh, what have we got ourselves into this time? It appears that Yuria's consciousness is carried over to the doll somehow. Oh, so she's in the teddy bear? I fixed my sight upon the small plush, dusting itself down as I smoke from my pipe. I've never experienced this kind of stuff before, although I do have a guess. The teddy bear crossed its arms. Ezra looks flustered by the sight. This teddy bear is the same type of object as your pipe. In other words, it belongs to me and me alone. You can tell this much, right? Which means it's something that responds to your emotions. That's right. When I was being swept away by the gross tide, it felt like the thoughts of other people were invading my head. I wanted to run away from those thoughts by any means. That's why my teddy surrounded me and kept me safe. In summary, an act of bizarre force transferred your mind from your body into that teddy bear. That looks to be the case. After all, these tools of ours resonate with our emotions. So, do you know how to come back? Nope. You're admitting it quite boldly. This is rather exciting, rather. We're opening a new horizon. This phenomenon is worth analyzing further. We'll have to talk about it when we head back. As she says, there'll be much to discuss with each other now. If we can safely get back, that is. Ezra, carry Yuria's body. Putting a person into a dimension bag could have unforeseen consequences. I got it. Ezra lifted Yuria's lifeless body and took it under her arm. Please handle it carefully, Xianbei. Yep. Yuria, would you like to get inside a pocket? Please put me on your shoulder, Detective Moses. I want to see the same scenery as you do. I put my hand to my forehead and whiffed my pipe. Who could have known that I'd be doing something like this in my life? I bent down to pick up the teddy bear and place it on my left shoulder. Oh my gosh, Detective! That looks so good on you! Ezra hopped in excitement. That would help heal her wounds. Since both of you are safe and sound now, albeit in different shapes, let's figure out how to escape this underground warehouse. Got it! Understood. It'll take some time to get used to someone speaking right in my ear. Knowing where the River of Distortions disappeared to would provide a crucial clue on the way out. There's no drain or exit to be found in this white room. I carefully felt around the wall and knocked on it. The wall seemed to be made of a material that feels like glass panes used in a lab. Figures. Hey, I know you're watching us from behind that wall, pal. I believe it's time you explained what's going on here. I hear someone clapping. Detective, behind you! Ezra shouted. The wall turns translucent, revealing a dark silhouette behind it. Excellent, Moses. You managed to reach this place in one piece, and you ultimately drove us into this corner. You are a capable person, I will admit. You even saved your colleagues and kept yourself alive on top of that. Thanks to you, our company has effectively gone bankrupt. What is this produce company in the back streets doing, meddling with creatures? Was it a secret weapons supplier in disguise? It's a humble company with dreams, that's all. J. Young Produce Co. was an ambitious firm that aimed to become a wing. So it's true that there's a vacant spot in the ranks of the wing ever since L Corp in the South fell. That's still a huge dream to have, I must say, Yuria pointed out. One should dream big, as they say. Though a remarkably difficult and taxing progress, we required a lead on Lobotomy Corp's singularity after paying a great price about enkephalin, the so-called eco-friendly energy. Enkephalin. Distortion and energy. A combination I couldn't have possibly imagined, and they mentioned Lobotomy Corporation, a former wing, out of the blue. What is this person talking about? I'm sure you have many things you'd like to know. Now, let me do you a favour and answer one of yours, whatever it may be. It's the price for making it here alive, and a reward for leading our company to ruin. My head's pounding, my body's about to crumble. My broken ribs ache, my burnt hand stings, my left cheek is freezing, the blood leaking out of my chest is losing warmth. So many things happened to us today. Ezra stands next to me carrying Yuria's body. She seems to be barely holding on to her consciousness. She's bled so badly that a puddle of blood was forming beneath her feet. Usually I would have asked who they are, where they brought that odd box from, what exactly has happened to this company. However, I don't have time for any more of your horse shit and conspiracies. All we want is to leave this place and rest. Not interested in anything else right now. Are you sure you're going to be okay with that? Opportunities like this won't come often. I am. I answered as I puffed smoke from the pipe. That's a shame. But if you insist. Jing. The walls of the white room split apart to reveal an elevator. You can use the lift back there. No tricks or traps placed there to harm you, so fret not. If killing you was all our goal, you would have been dead meat before you got here. I can't bother to tell if they're speaking the truth. Let's go, Ezra. Yes, Chief. We took the elevator. The challenge day is coming to an end at last. I want to get back home immediately, get treated and lie down. I'm sure Ezra shares my sentiment, and I have many things to discuss with Yuria. I imagine there'll be a ton of things to clear up once we head back. The elevator doors are closing. The silhouetted person muttered in the back. I've lost. Are they talking to themselves? Yuri, who is the person talking to? DS. Oh, that fucking name's come up again. Okay, that person came up at the end of the Kanto, right? Like they were the person that let the oh my god, my brain. Oh my god, fuck's sake. They let them in. They let the spiders in, the house spiders in, right? Into the company. But like, don't they also work for the company? Like, doesn't, like, DS is like the traitor, right? But don't they, like, aren't they like really high up in the company or something? Like really high up? Because there was something to do with them with the UJAT, wasn't there? Oh, there was something like that. And like, that's why the UJAT got absolutely annihilated, because they didn't know that all of their stuff had been tampered with. Was it something along those lines? And then in Otis's story, Otis like finds out about it. That was linked to them as well, wasn't it? As soon as I heard that word, my eyes opened wide. Blood and rage rushed to my head. I must ask that bastard what they meant when they spoke that word. The doors aren't completely shut yet. My body asked rationally before I have a say. I sprang for them. Detective Moses, what's wrong? Yuria jumped down from my shoulder. Right as Yuria landed on the floor, Ezra stood in my way and harshly blocked me as if she were prepared for this. And she struck me on the back of the neck. Sorry, Detective. We've got to live first. I fainted, collapsing in Ezra's embrace. Holy shit. Oh my god. Okay, so Moses clearly had quite a visceral reaction to Diaz getting mentioned. Okay, so clearly they've got a past. Oh man, this is so good. This is really interesting as well. I feel like it's filling in a couple of gaps for me as well, but also giving me questions. This is fascinating.